Chapter 417. After rushing all the way, Xiao Chen's car finally entered the Yu's house and stopped in front of Yu Xiaochuan's new house, or rather, in front of his and Tang Tang's new house. Xiao Chen got out of the car and entered the villa with the appearance of White Fox. Yu Xiaochuan had been waiting at the door of the villa for a long time. When he saw Xiao Chen, he immediately greeted him, "White Fox hero, you're here. Come and take a look at Zhu Yingxiong. He's dying." Xiao Chen frowned and made a gesture to lead the way. He couldn't help but speed up his pace. When they came to a guest room in the villa, there were already several people standing there, including Tang Tang, Yu Shanshan, and a middle-aged man. He was Yu Shanshan and Yu Xiaochuan's father. However, when Xiao Chen came, Yu Xiaochuan's father greeted him and left. He also knew that he was not familiar with White Fox hero, so standing here was an eyesore. There were only a few people left in the room who could be regarded as his own people. Xiao Chen walked over and looked at Zhu Yingxiong on the bed. Zhu Yingxiong's body had been cleaned. Although there were no visible injuries on his face, his breath was very weak, which was a sign that he was terminally ill. Xiao Chen walked over. Zhu Yingxiong did not go over because he was holding his breath. At this moment, he opened his eyes with difficulty and glanced at the white fox in front of him. But his brain was not working at the moment, so he subconsciously called out, "Boss. Boss, you're here." Xiao Chen's face changed slightly, but at this time, he would not blame Zhu Yingxiong. He just coughed lightly and said, "How do you feel?" As he spoke, he began to check the injuries on Zhu Yingxiong's body. After a check, Xiao Chen was immediately shocked. Zhu Yingxiong's chest was completely flattened. After all, Zhu Yingxiong was a warrior at the second stage of inner strength. The person who could beat him like this must be a warrior, and his strength was definitely not low. However, who did Zhu Yingxiong offend? Ouyang Tang, who stole his fiancée last time, had already been beaten into a cripple. He shouldn't have the chance to cause trouble for him, right? However, Xiao Chen didn't ask much. He began to use the mantra to heal Zhu Yingxiong. With the experience of healing Shen Jingmao and the middle-aged woman, the process was very smooth this time. The people in the room did not say a word as they stared unblinkingly at the white fox and Zhu Yingxiong. However, what surprised them was that Zhu Yingxiong's face gradually turned from pale to rosy. His injuries seemed to be improving bit by bit. This scene immediately shocked everyone, including Tang Tang. In fact, although Xiao Chen vowed that he was a white fox, Tang Tang still felt a little incredulous. Now, she saw him healing Zhu Yingxiong with her own eyes. It seemed that Xiao Chen's strength had reached a very terrifying level. As for whether the person in front of her was Xiao Chen, she believed that Zhu Yingxiong knew better than her. Otherwise, Zhu Yingxiong wouldn't directly call him boss. Thinking of this, Tang Tang's heart that was hanging in suspense finally relaxed. Xiao Chen was really beyond her expectations. He's fine. He just needs to rest for a while and take some restorative potions. Xiao Chen said, "Now, who can tell me what is going on?" White Fox hero. Yu Xiaochuan hesitated. He glanced at Tang Tang and said, "Since things have come to this point, you don't have to wear this mask. Everyone actually knows what is going on. In this room, everyone is on the same side." "It's fine." Xiao Chen frowned slightly and looked at Yu Xiaochuan with some surprise. Yu Xiaochuan's words were already very obvious. Does he know that I am Xiao Chen? It seems that I am afraid so. However, Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. He didn't believe that Yu Xiaochuan came to this conclusion just based on Zhu Yingxiong's boss, because it was unrealistic. To the public, he was Xiao Chen's boss, and Xiao Chen was Zhu Yingxiong's boss. So, there was no problem for Zhu Yingxiong to call him boss directly, not to mention that he called him Big Boss. Therefore, Xiao Chen didn't reply directly, but said, "Yu Xiaochuan, what do you mean by this? Why? Do you want to see my true face? Yesterday, in this room, there was a surveillance video. I saw it all." Yu Xiaochuan told the truth. Xiao Chen took a deep breath and nodded. His tone suddenly became cold. "So, you know it all?" What do you want? Ugh. Master White Fox, you misunderstood. I killed the disciple in the monitoring room, and the video hard disk was destroyed. No one knows this secret. Yu Xiaochuan said quickly, I definitely won't harm you. What about your sister? Asked Xiao Chen. He was a little puzzled. Why wouldn't Yu Xiaochuan harm me? I feel that this guy should hate Xiao Chen a lot, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Shanshan is my sister, and she is already Zhu Yingxiong's woman, so you don't have to worry about her, Yu Xiaochuan said. As for Tang Tang and Zhu Yingxiong, they already know, right? Xiao Chen didn't deny it. Since things had come to this, there was no need to hide it anymore. Xiao Chen casually took off his mask and revealed his original face. This gave Yu Shanshan a fright and she was dumbstruck. She didn't expect that the Master White Fox, who was sought after and admired by everyone, was actually the trash of the Xiao family, Xiao Chen. This person can't cultivate internal force? But looking at him at the Righteous and Devil Summit, it wasn't that he couldn't cultivate internal force, but he was too good at it. Shanshan, don't go out and talk nonsense. Yu Xiaochuan said, we are all on the same side. You know the stakes. I understand. Although Yu Shanshan was shocked, she nodded quickly. At least from Zhu Yingxiong's side, she wouldn't go out and talk nonsense. Now that even her brother said so, she wouldn't go out and talk nonsense. Also, Tang Tang is actually your brother White Fox's woman, but there is nothing wrong with you calling her sister-in-law. Your brother White Fox is the boss of Zhu Yingxiong. Yu Xiaochuan said, as for your brother, there is a problem with my cultivation method. I can't touch women. Oh. Yu Shanshan nodded as if she understood. She was a little confused, but it didn't matter if she couldn't figure it out, as long as it was kept secret. During the conversation, Zhu Yingxiong actually sat up. Boss, you are so awesome. I feel like I'm fine now. You lie down quickly. Yu Shanshan, you let him lie down and talk. Xiao Chen told Yu Shanshan. Okay, brother White Fox. Yu Shanshan nodded. From the perspective of Zhu Yingxiong, she also had to respect Xiao Chen. Yu Xiaochuan, didn't you hate me before? Xiao Chen looked at Yu Xiaochuan strangely. Hero White Fox, come with me. Yu Xiaochuan said as he reached out to hug Xiao Chen and pulled him to the door. He lowered his voice and said, I am not interested in women now. I can't expose the fact that I am practicing the chrysanthemum treasure book. Now you and Tang Tang can help me hide it. Moreover, I also admire you very much. Now that you are Xiao Chen, that's even better. Tang Tang doesn't reject it anymore, I am even happier. Xiao Chen felt strange being hugged by Yu Xiaochuan. He nodded and said, so that's how it is. In that case, feel free to speak up if you have anything to say in the future. Since we are all open with each other, there is nothing to hide. Okay, thank you. Yu Xiaochuan nodded quickly. Back in the room, Zhu Yingxiong also slowly talked about what happened tonight. It turned out that today, Zhu Yingxiong was invited by the Yu family to have dinner. Yu Xiaochuan's marriage was settled, and the next step was Yu Shanshan's turn. The Zhu family was actually a little anxious. According to the rules of aristocratic families, because the age of marriage was not enough, but the engagement was considered to be an official couple. They wanted Zhu Yingxiong to carry on the family line as soon as possible because the Zhu family did not have many people. Therefore, this matter was put on the agenda. Zhu Yingxiong came as a prospective son-in-law. Everything was fine at first. The kitchen was preparing the meal, and Yu Xiaochuan, Tang Tang, Zhu Yingxiong, Yu Shanshan, and several elders of the Yu family were talking in the reception hall. Finally, a disciple came to report that the Ouyang family of the provincial capital had come to visit. Although there were guests, the Ouyang family of the provincial capital was a real martial arts family. The Yu family could not receive them. Therefore, they could only let the Ouyang family come to the reception hall, and let Yu Xiaochuan and the other juniors go to the side hall to rest first. The person from the Ouyang family was called Ouyang Liang, Ouyang Tang's brother. After entering the door, he did not greet them politely, but directly put forward the request of the Ouyang family. That was, he represented the Ouyang family of the provincial capital to formally propose to the Yu family. The object of the proposal was naturally his younger brother, Ouyang Tang, and Yu Shanshan. The sudden arrival of Ouyang Liang suddenly caught the Yu family off guard. Yu Shanshan's father suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Although the Ouyang family was a real martial arts family of the provincial capital, it was stronger than the Zhu family. There would definitely be a lot of benefits from the marriage, but the problem now was that Yu Shanshan and Zhu Yingxiong had already reached the point where they were talking about marriage. How could they break off the engagement? The Yu family had already done something similar once, but there was a reason for it. It was because Tang Tang had a strange disease that they broke off the engagement. But now, there was nothing wrong with Zhu Yingxiong. If they broke off the engagement, not to mention Yu Shanshan, even the Zhu family would not let it go, right? Therefore, the Yu family politely refused. But this way, Ouyang Liang immediately became angry. He roared and brought up the previous example of Tang Tang, meaning that there were many times when the Yu family went back on their word. There was no other way. Although Ouyang Liang's words were very unpleasant, the Yu family could only patiently explain that Tang Tang had a strange disease, and the Tang family also agreed, but Zhu Yingxiong was fine and got along well with Yu Shanshan. In the end, it was this one sentence that had caused a huge disaster. Ouyang Liang directly sneered and said, "Wasn't Zhu Yingxiong fine? That was very good. In that case, let him be directly in trouble. If he had a problem, they could naturally break off the engagement with the Zhu family." Chapter 418. Without a doubt, this Ouyang Liang was a stage 6 inner strength warrior. To a normal family's disciple, he was a powerful existence. With a wave of his hand, Zhu Yingxiong was severely injured. However, the Yu clan did not dare to force him to stay. After all, he was a member of the real martial arts clan. Although he was a branch family, he was still stronger than the Yu clan, who had broken away from the main family. Moreover, the one who was injured was Zhu Yingxiong, not a member of the Yu clan. In essence, Yu Shanshan and Zhu Yingxiong were not engaged yet, so the Yu clan had no reason to stand up for them. Ouyang Liang seemed to have guessed that this would happen. He laughed coldly and said, "Yu clan, I hope that you will put yourself in the right position. It is Yu Shanshan's fortune that my brother has taken a liking to her. Don't miss the chance to marry into the Ouyang real martial arts clan just because you want to marry into the Zhu family. This time, it is just a warning. Next time, it will not be so easy. I will give you one night to think about it. I will come again tomorrow morning." After saying that, Ouyang Liang turned around and left, leaving behind the shocked Yu clan. Although the Yu clan had people who could force Ouyang Liang to stay, they did not dare to do so. Wouldn't it be a declaration of war between the Yu clan and the Ouyang clan? How could the Yu clan be a match for them? No matter how one looked at it, the Yu clan would not do such a stupid thing. After listening to what had happened, Xiaochen did not blame the Yu clan. There was nothing much to say about this. Every clan's elders would consider the clan's benefits, and not their personal gains and losses. Only when a clan was prosperous and undeclining, would everyone in the clan be able to obtain corresponding benefits. Just like when Xiaochen was chased out of the Xiao family, he had no other choice. There was no other way. He had to sacrifice himself for the greater good. Therefore, although the Yu clan's actions were ruthless, it was understandable. "I will wait for him to come tomorrow," Xiaochen said directly. "That's great." Yu Xiaochuan nodded. With Hero White Fox's help, there will be no problem with Shanshan and Hero. However, Xiaochen couldn't go to the Qing family anymore, but it was also good that he didn't go. After he went there, if Qing Mingxiang and Chao Yuliang were on guard in front of him, it would not be easy to expose himself. At the thought of this, Xiaochen called Jean Bebe and did not hide it from the people present. "Cousin-in-law." Jean Bebe ran to the side and picked up the phone secretly. "Bebe, I have something to do here. Zhu Yingxiong has been injured by someone." "I can't leave," Xiaochen said. Oh, okay. I'll talk to cousin Menjing." Jean Bebe nodded. You can stay there tonight. Since tomorrow is the weekend, I will pick you up during the day, Xiaochen said. Okay, got it, Jean Bebe answered and secretly went to tell Qing Menjing. When Qing Menjing heard that Xiaochen left because Zhu Yingxiong was injured, she was not angry. She just snorted and muttered, this guy. He crushed someone's car, and I have to clean it for him every time. Otherwise, how could Xiao En's let him go so easily? Clean his butt? Jean Bebe asked. Why are you asking when you already know? Qing Menjing kicked Jean Bebe. As they were talking, Xiao En's went to visit the elders of the Qing family. At this time, Chao Yuliang happened to come in. He saw Qing Menjing and Jean Bebe in the banquet hall, so he quickly ran over. Menjing, Bebe, you are here. Chao Yuliang greeted them warmly. Isn't what you're saying nonsense? This is cousin Menjing's home. If we are not here, are you? Jean Bebe squinted at Chao Yuliang. Chao Yuliang, I don't need you here. You can go ahead with your business. I have something private to talk to Jean Bebe about. Qing Menjing wanted to send Chao Yuliang away and see what he was going to do next. Otherwise, she could not tell whether he was up to something bad if he kept pestering her. Ah. I see. All right then. Since Qing Menjing had said so, Chao Yuliang did not say anything else. After all, the two girls were talking about something private, and it was not appropriate for him to stay here. Therefore, he nodded and said, okay. I'll visit Grandpa Qing and Uncle Qing first. Okay, Qing Menjing replied. After Chao Yuliang left, Jean Bebe looked at Qing Menjing in confusion and asked, Cousin Menjing, what do you want to talk to me about? Or do you want to send Xiao Yangzi away? Both. Qing Menjing said, you want to be Detective Bay 007, don't you? Huh? Jean Bebe was dazed. Why? You help me follow Chao Yuliang and see who he is in contact with and what he does and says. But don't let him find out. Can you accomplish the task? Qing Menjing said. Yes, it's too easy. Watch me. Jean Bebe immediately patted her chest and said eagerly. Her chest was shivering, which made Qing Menjing a little envious. Go ahead. After saying that, Qing Menjing turned around and pretended to be tired. She went to a corner of the dining room and sat down to take a rest. Chao Yuliang left the dining room calmly. He turned around and looked around. After making sure that nobody was around, he took out his phone and dialed a number, saying, Young Master Qing, it's me. I'm in the Qing family's mansion now. I have nothing to do now. Can I go and find you? Okay, got it. Jean Bebe was hiding behind a dustbin at the moment. She heard Chao Yuliang's words clearly. Young Master Qing? Is it Qing Mingxiang? Why is Chao Yuliang going to find Qing Mingxiang? Chao Yuliang did not leave immediately. Instead, he stood where he was and played with his phone, which made Jean Bebe a little confused. Did his, okay, got it, mean that he was going or not? However, after a while, Chao Yuliang strode towards an independent villa in the Qing family's mansion. Qing Mingxiang received a call from Chao Yuliang. In fact, he was with Xiao Xiao at the moment. Although he trusted Xiao Xiao very much now, Xiao Xiao had not become his woman yet, which made Qing Mingxiang somewhat defensive. He could not tell her everything, especially when it was related to Xiao Qin. At least, although Xiao Xiao seemed to like him now, she should be very sensitive when it came to the survival of the Xiao family. Therefore, Qing Mingxiang asked Xiao Xiao to go upstairs to watch a movie while he waited for Chao Yuliang in the living room downstairs. Very soon, Chao Yuliang came to the door of Qing Mingxiang's villa. However, he did not ring the doorbell. Instead, he directly opened the door and walked in. Obviously, Qing Mingxiang had left the door open for him. Jean Bebe watched Chao Yuliang enter the single-family villa. She had no choice. She definitely could not follow him in. If she did, she would definitely be discovered. Therefore, she immediately called Qing Menjing. Bebe, how is it going? Although Qing Menjing seemed to be resting, she had been thinking about this matter. Jean Bebe should not be in danger. This was the mansion of the Qing family. Even if Chao Yuliang discovered that he was being followed, he could not do anything to Jean Bebe. However, the main problem was that once Jean Bebe was discovered by Chao Yuliang, he would definitely be alarmed. It would be difficult for Chao Yuliang to catch Jean Bebe after he alerted the enemy. In that case, Xiao Chen's plan would be ruined. Cousin Menjing, I saw that Chao Yuliang called a man named young Master Qing very respectfully. After that, he went to Qing Mingxiang's villa. Jean Bebe reported truthfully. This was Qing Mingxiang's villa. She also knew that she and Qing Menjing had been close since they were kids. She was as familiar with the Qing family as she was with her own home. Oh. He went there? Qing Menjing's heart suddenly tightened. As she expected, something was wrong. It seemed that Xiao Chen's speculation was correct. Qing Mingxiang and Chao Yuliang were in different age groups. It was impossible for them to be so close. Also, it was even more impossible for Chao Yuliang to be Qing Mingxiang's lackey. After all, he was older than Qing Mingxiang. Unless, there was some unknown reason that caused it to become like this. Chao Yuliang was very respectful to Qing Mingxiang. What did it mean? Why did Chao Yuliang do that? However, it was not important anymore. What mattered was that Qing Mingxiang was probably the person who dealt with Xiao Chen behind the scenes. Thinking of that, Qing Menjing immediately felt that her back was soaked in cold sweat. Was he targeting the Xiao family? But how was that possible? Was Uncle Zhao's disappearance related to him, too? Then, was the disappearance of her youngest uncle Qing Zhongqian related to Qing Mingxiang, too? Qing Menjing was not stupid. As for Qing Mingxiang's motive, she quickly guessed it. Qing Zhongqian was the future heir of the Qing family. However, Qing Zhongqian was only about 10 years older than Qing Mingxiang. In this way, if Qing Zhongqian were to ascend to the position of young master of the Qing clan, Qing Mingxiang would have no chance at all. He would lose the position of young master, because the day Qing Zhongqian grew old, he would also grow old. With a gap of 10 years, it was impossible for him to be entrusted with such a heavy responsibility. As for why he didn't deal with her father, the current young patriarch, the reason wasn't hard to understand. She was a woman and would eventually marry, so it was impossible for her father to pass down the position of patriarch. Furthermore, her father's aptitude was mediocre, and this was publicly acknowledged by the family. In fact, everyone understood that Qing Zhongming's position as young patriarch was merely a passing phase. Once Qing Zhongqian grew up, the position would be handed over. If her guess was right, then Qing Mingxiang was a terrifying person. He had such a good plan. But why did he make Uncle Xiao disappear? And why did he target Xiao Chen? Why was that? Was it really because he wanted to take over the Xiao family? If he married Xiao Xiao and killed Xiao Chen, then the Xiao family would definitely be in his pocket. But what did he want the Xiao family to do? Although he could gain some benefits by doing so, it would not be much. This was because the Xiao family did not have much financial resources. Even if they managed to obtain it, they would at most gain the title of an aristocratic family. At most, the Qing family would promote a trusted family member to take over the position of the Xiao family. Chapter 419. If the Qing family was not the leader of the Songming family, it would be reasonable for him to do so. However, given the current status of the Qing family, they did not need to do this at all. The Qing family did not need to ally with other families. Therefore, Qing Menjing felt that Qing Mingxiang's action was superfluous and she could not see through it. Bebe, come back. Let's talk after you come back. Qing Menjing knew that she could not let Jean Bebe follow them anymore because she could not get in. Oh, okay. Jean Bebe replied and turned around to leave. After entering the villa, Chao Yuliang quickly closed the door. As soon as he raised his head, he saw Qing Mingxiang sitting on the sofa waiting for him. He hurried to flatter Qing Mingxiang and said, "Young Master Qing, sorry to keep you waiting, Qing Mingxiang waved his hand and gestured for Chao Yuliang to sit down. Then, he said, Chao Yuliang, I heard that Xiao Chen is here today, right? Yes, he is here. Chao Yuliang said, besides, I also got a piece of important news about Xiao Chen. Oh? What news? Qing Mingxiang's interest was piqued. He craned his neck. Xiao Chen recognized Hero White Fox as his boss. Chao Yuliang said in a shocking way. Oh? Qing Mingxiang frowned immediately. Xiao Chen did not have any backing in the past. It was not easy to kill him. Now that he had White Fox as his backer, wouldn't it be more difficult to kill him? Thinking of the strict orders his father gave him, and what he thought would be an easy task, it turned out to be so complicated. Why was it so difficult to kill Xiao Chen? He had thought that as long as he used Chao Yuliang, Xiao Chen would be killed easily. He even wanted to create an accident at the beginning because he did not want others to suspect anything. If Chao Yuliang was exposed, Qing Mingxiang couldn't guarantee that he wouldn't betray him. But now it seemed that he was too careful. Not only did Chao Yuliang fail, but Qin Jinpeng, who cooperated with him, also died. As for Xiao Chen, he had actually recognized the White Fox as his boss. Now, it would not be easy to use force to deal with Xiao Chen. At the very least, it would be under the condition that the White Fox did not interfere. Chao Yuliang, I trusted you time and time again, but what about you? Tell me, from the beginning to the end, what have you done? Why isn't Xiao Chen dead yet? Qing Mingxiang was furious when he thought of this. Can you do it or not? If you can't do it, I'll find someone else. Yes, I can definitely do it. Chao Yuliang was shocked and quickly said, Young Master Qing, please rest assured. Xiao Chen is definitely not far from death. Yes, Xiao Chen. How is his relationship with my sister now? Qing Mingxiang suddenly asked. It seems to be very bad, right? Menjing has never liked Xiao Chen. Chao Yuliang said. Women are a very strange animal. Qing Mingxiang said faintly, if they are together for a long time, it is inevitable that they will have feelings. Once they fall in love with that man, their heart will grow on him. Do you understand what I mean? Ah, I understand. Chao Yuliang knew that Qing Mingxiang was talking about Xiao Xiao, but in fact, he was also hinting to Qing Menjing not to be taken care of by Xiao Chen. That would be very disadvantageous to him. Okay, you can go now. I am going upstairs. Qing Mingxiang waved his hand, indicating that Chao Yuliang could leave. Chao Yuliang quickly retreated and left the villa, but he was thinking about how to kill Xiao Chen. Upstairs, in the room, Xiao Xiao turned off the phone screen and glanced at the TV screen. On the screen, the frozen image was a bloody skull. It was very horrifying. This is a horror film. Xiao Xiao picked up the remote control and pressed the play button. From the TV, there was a burst of horrified screams. Qing Mingxiang pushed the door open. Xiao Xiao hugged her arms and curled up on the sofa. She was a little nervous. When she saw Qing Mingxiang come in, she immediately said, Mingxiang, come and watch this movie with me. It is too scary. I don't dare to watch it, okay, why are you so timid? Qing Mingxiang smiled and sat next to Xiao Xiao. He reached out and hugged Xiao Xiao. No. If you hug me, there won't be such a scary atmosphere. Xiao Xiao pushed Qing Mingxiang away calmly. She hadn't made the final preparations yet. Hee, okay. Qing Mingxiang smiled. He didn't force Xiao Xiao. In his opinion, some things were reasonable and didn't need to be rushed. Chao Yuliang returned to the dining room and saw Qing Menjing and Jean Bebe chatting not far away. He didn't know whether he should go over or not. After all, they said they were talking about something private. He could only cough in the distance to show that he was back. Cousin Menjing, Xiao Liangzi is back, said Jean Bebe. You don't have to tell me. I saw it. Chao Yuliang said, okay, that's it. Xiao Chen suspects that Meng Chang is the mastermind. Bebe thinks so too. Why don't we ask our cousin-in-law to find a chance to kill him? Cousin Menjiang, will you be sad? Asked Jean Bebe. What do you mean kill him? Xiao Chen is no match for him. Qing Mengxiang is not weak. Don't make random suggestions. Qing Menjiang said, why should I be sad? Girls from big families have to get married eventually. Actually, what the Qing family is like has nothing to do with me in the future. Look at Xiao Xiao now. Isn't she also loyal to Qing Mengxiang? Oh. Jean Bebe nodded. Her family's way of education was different from the other big families. Therefore, Jean Bebe had a strong sense of belonging to the Jean family. Qiao Yuliang returned. Qiao En's also returned. He saw Qiao Yuliang at first glance. He had investigated before and knew that Qiao Yuliang was Qing Menjiang's pursuer. Therefore, he smiled and walked toward Qiao Yuliang. Xiao Chen was no longer a match for him. He was just a follower of Qing Menjiang who bullied others. After he settled Qing Menjiang, he would be able to deal with him however he wanted. Qiao Yuliang was a threat. Therefore, he planned to keep Qiao Yuliang away from Qing Menjiang. Qiao Yuliang, right? Qiao En smiled and extended his hand to Qiao Yuliang. You are? Qiao Yuliang did not know Qiao En's. He did not go to the same school as Xiao Chen and Qing Menjing in junior high. He went there after high school. Naturally, he did not know Qiao En's. Moreover, when Xiao En's was in the 3rd year of high school, Qing Menjing was in the 1st year of junior high. When Qiao Yuliang went there, Xiao En's had already graduated and left Songning City. It would be strange if he knew him. Let me introduce myself. I am Qiao En's, Menjing's childhood sweetheart. Qiao En said, I heard that you are from the secular Qiao family. Don't come here if you have nothing to do. You are not welcome here. What do you mean? Is there something wrong with you? Qiao Yuliang was stunned. Then he said angrily, do you have anything to do with me? If not, I am leaving. I am not finished. I am from the law enforcement hall of the secular headquarters of the warrior guild. Qiao En smiled and said, Qiao Yuliang, what do you think of the suggestion I told you before? Nothing much. Are you threatening me? So what if you are from the warrior guild? What does it have to do with you that I am pursuing the goddess? If you have the ability, get engaged with the Qing family and I will quit. Qiao Yuliang curled his lips and scolded, idiot. Do you really think you are someone important? You? Qiao En's was a little dumbfounded. His identity was quite useful in front of the disciples of the secular families. Even Chen Huanling had to curry favor with him. What was wrong with this Qiao Yuliang? Did he not know his power and strength? What about you? Is there anything else? Qiao Yuliang asked. I am in charge of investigating the crimes of the disciples of the secular families. Qiao Yuliang, you do not know what I do you? Qiao En said coldly. I know. So what? If Qiao Yuliang did not cooperate with Qing Mengxiang, he would naturally be afraid of Qiao En's. But now he had no choice. He got close to Qing Menjing because he could invite Xiao Chen out through her. He could also ask Xiao Chen to help him plan. If he gave up, how could he find Xiao Chen in the future? Compared to this Qiao En's, he felt that Qing Mengxiang was more terrifying. Qing Mengxiang had the ability to make an ordinary person become a martial artist like him. If someone said that the Qing family did not have the support of a ruthless person, Qiao Yuliang would not believe it. Even the warrior guild could not make an ordinary person reach the peak of stage 3 inner force. But Qing Mengxiang could. Moreover, he controlled Qiao Yuliang's lifeline. It was impossible for Qiao Yuliang to ruin his business because of Qiao En's threat. You are very good. Qiao En's was about to explode. The people of Songning City, Xiao Chen was a stubborn person. This Qiao Yuliang was the same. What the hell was wrong with them? Although he lost face, Qiao Yuliang did not commit any crime. It was not good for him to investigate him. Qiao Yuliang turned around and walked towards Qing Menjing. Xiao Enz was so angry that he followed behind. Previously, he went to visit old Master Qing Zhongming, and Qing Zhongfan. He hinted that Qing Menjing could be his concubine. Moreover, he also hinted that he was one of the candidates to become the warrior guild's president in the future. It could be seen that old Master Qing was moved. However, both Qing Zhongming and Qing Zhongfan expressed strong opposition. Old Master Qing saw that both his sons were unanimously against it, so he did not say anything. This immediately made Xiao Enz depressed. In fact, Qing Zhongming was also somewhat puzzled. What was Qing Zhongfan against? He was against it because of Xiao Qin. Could it be that Qing Zhongfan was against it because of Qiao Yuliang? But what did this have to do with him? Of course, this was not the case. Qing Zhongfan did not care whether Qiao Yuliang was Qiao Yuliang or not. He was just a chess piece in Qing Mingxiang's hands. Qing Menjing was just a temptation and reward for him. If Qing Mingxiang wanted to matchmake them, then so be it. If not, Qing Zhongfan would not interfere. What he was really worried about was Xiao En's identity as the Warrior Guild's law enforcement hall. Because what he was going to do in the future was against the Warrior Guild's rules. Chapter 420. Although he didn't think that Xiao Enz was a good person, if Xiao Enz intervened, or even reported, then Qing Zhongfan would lose more than he gained. Therefore, it was better to have less contact with this kind of person, which was why he expressed his strong opposition. Xiao Enz, who was full of anger, also hit a wall on Qiao Yuliang's side. Listening to Qiao Yuliang's words, he suspected that the Qing family and the Qiao family had secretly reached an agreement to unite by marriage, so they rejected him. Thinking about it, it was really possible. Therefore, in Xiao En's heart, he also hated Qiao Yuliang. He planned to deal with White Fox and get a reward from the higher-ups. At the same time, he fabricated a little crime against Qiao Yuliang to mess with him. At that time, he investigated a big case and was in the limelight. The higher-ups shouldn't interfere too much with him investigating Qiao Yuliang. Thinking of this, Xiao En snorted coldly, as if he had already won. Menjing, what do you want to eat? I'll help you get it. Qiao Yuliang walked over and asked Qing Menjing. Menjing, what do you want to drink? I'll help you get it. Xiao Enz also walked over and said. I don't want to eat anything. You guys go ahead. Thank you. Qing Menjing shook her head. How could she have any appetite? On one side was her family, and on the other side was Xiao Qin. Her heart was in a mess. For a moment, it was difficult to make a choice. If it was in the past, she might be inclined to the Qing family. After all, the Qing family was her family. How could she be partial to outsiders? That Xiao Qin was so hateful. He pursued Shen Jingxian and Kerlin in front of her. How could he see her as his fiancée? What did it have to do with her whether he died or not? If he died, she would be free. But now, after spending so much time with Xiao Qin, Qing Menjing found that Xiao Qin was actually a very good person. The balance in her heart slowly shifted. Although Qing Mingxiang was her younger brother, to be honest, Qing Menjing was not very close to him. Besides, he wanted to harm Xiao Qin. If he was killed by Xiao Qin, he would only have himself to blame, and she would not help either side. But, what if Qing Mingxiang got what he wanted? Xiao Qin was an ordinary person without any strength. How was he going to fight Qing Mengchang? Cousin Menjing, what's wrong? Jean Bebe discovered that Qing Menjing was not in a good mood. Is it because of my cousin-in-law and Qing Mingxiang? Yes. Qing Menjing did not deny it. She nodded. You won't die if you don't court death. Jean Bebe said. Cousin Menjing, this is the truth. Yeah. Qing Menjing thought about it and agreed. If Qing Mingxiang didn't court death, he definitely wouldn't die. But I'm worried about Xiao Qin. Cousin-in-law? Hee, don't worry. My cousin-in-law is a transformer. He is very awesome. Once he transforms, he will become an awesome person. Jean Bebe said with a smile. Do you think he's Spider-Man? Cheng Menjing rolled her eyes at Jean Bebe. Jean Bebe said. Cheng Menjing planned to tell Xiao Chen about this when she got home. She wanted him to be careful. Wasn't the White Fox swordsman his boss? If Hero White Fox were to take action, then Cheng Mingxiang would definitely not dare to act rashly. In fact, neither Chao Yuliang nor Xiao Enz was close to Cheng Menjing. Today, Cheng Menjing acted like she didn't want anyone to get close to her. Even her acquaintances didn't want to talk to her. Therefore, Chao Yuliang and Xiao Enz could only stare at each other. However, Xiao Enz also understood that it was impossible to start from the Qing family. The Qing family didn't agree. Therefore, he could only work on Cheng Menjing. When Cheng Menjing followed him, the Qing family wouldn't say anything. Moreover, the Qing family was the top aristocratic family in Songning. He couldn't threaten them. After a quiet night, Chao Yuliang and Xiao En stared at each other for the whole night. Then, they left. It was meaningless to stay there. They looked at each other. Neither of them had the chance to get close to Cheng Menjing. Cheng Menjing and Jean Bebe went to rest early. It was meaningless for them to stay here. They might as well go back and show their talents. Chao Yuliang didn't mind. He was used to running into walls. In his opinion, the current situation was good enough. At least, he could go in and out of the Qing family freely. It was impossible in the past. Xiao Enz was very depressed. Why didn't everything go smoothly after he arrived in Songning City? Originally, he wanted to investigate the White Fox, but he was stopped by Song Huawu and Hong Zhu. He had finally found Yang Jianan to rely on after much difficulty, but the White Fox still ignored him, causing him to embarrass himself at the Yu clan's wedding banquet. Now, he came to pursue Cheng Menjing. He even met Chao Yuliang, the stubborn hothead. This Songning city really drove him crazy. In the past, when he went to other cities to carry out missions, he was always surrounded by people. Those small families couldn't wait to treat him as a distinguished guest. They were respectful and afraid of him, but now? He felt like King Clown. White Fox, it's all your fault. If you didn't treat me like this, would these families not take me seriously? I'll definitely tear you into pieces. He pushed all the blame to White Fox, thinking that it was White Fox who made him lose face, which led to the subsequent setbacks. In the middle of the night, Yi Xiaoya waited for a long time, but the White Fox swordsman didn't come over to dual cultivate with her. Yi Xiaoya was a little anxious. She had been progressing very quickly recently, and it was all thanks to their dual cultivation every night. She wanted to send a message to White Fox to ask if he would come. But Yi Xiaoya hesitated for a while and still didn't send it. It was as if she had to look for him. She thought that she had to take off her clothes during cultivation. She was a girl, so how could she take the initiative? She thought that White Fox would come after a while, or at least send a message. But it was already 3 in the morning, and White Fox still hadn't appeared. Yi Xiaoya didn't sleep all night, waiting for him. She was a little annoyed and sent a message to White Fox, "Where the hell are you?" Xiao Chen looked at the push notification on the Cultivators Guild's app and smacked his head. He had been so busy that he had forgotten about this matter. He said apologetically, "A friend of mine was beaten up by someone. I am in his house, preparing to stand up for him." "Where? Do you need me to go?" Yi Xiaoya saw the message and wasn't angry anymore. After all, White Fox had something to do, and didn't not come for no reason. "You clan, if you come, you'll be standing up for him in the name of Demon Star Sect. That's not good, right? The other party is the Ouyang clan of the provincial capital, the martial arts clan." Xiao Chen said. "It's okay, wait for me." Yi Xiaoya was obviously not afraid of the Ouyang clan. Speaking of which, the demon sect and the righteous sects often had small conflicts in private. They didn't take it seriously at all. Of course, they were all small-scale conflicts. It was impossible for two sects or clans to fight to the death. Xiao Chen had no choice but to give the Yu clan's address to Yi Xiaoya. Then, he said to Yu Xiaochuan, my partner, Demon Star Sex Yi Baiya, will be here in a while. Tomorrow, we'll stand up for Old Pig together. However, don't reveal my identity. She doesn't know my identity. Don't let it slip. Xiao Chen was afraid that Yi Xiaoya would kill him after knowing that he was Xiao Chen. Don't worry, Hero White Fox. We all call you Hero White Fox. Yu Xiaochuan said quickly. He was a little excited. Boss Xiao Chen was awesome. That girl from Demon Star sect must have taken a fancy to Boss. Otherwise, why would she come to help him? Humph, she's really a little slut. Yu Shanshan, Tang Tang, and Zhu Yingxiong also nodded in agreement. They didn't want to bring unnecessary trouble to Xiao Chen. After a while, Yi Xiaoya arrived. She was wearing a tight outfit and looked cool. She had the aura of a heroine. Early the next morning, Ouyang Liang came to the Yu clan again at dawn. However, when he walked into the living room, he was slightly stunned. When he saw White Fox and Yi Baiya sitting at the head of the living room, his face suddenly changed. That day, he also went to watch Ouyang Tang's summit competition. Naturally, he knew who Hero White Fox was. However, he didn't expect that Hero White Fox would be sitting here. Wasn't the Yu clan also a branch of a righteous sect? How could they be related to the demon sect? Could it be that they were also guests? Thinking of this, Ouyang Liang forced himself to calm down and said, Yu Xiaochuan, Yu Shanshan, what's wrong? Yu clan has guests. Is it this stupid thing? Xiao Chen pointed at Ouyang Liang and asked. Hero White Fox, that's him. Yu Xiaochuan quickly replied. Well, Ouyang, who are you? You're quite daring, aren't you? Xiao Chen asked coldly. Yesterday, you came to the Yu clan to act tough and injured Zhu Yingxiong? At this moment, Ouyang Liang finally confirmed that White Fox was asked to stand up for him. He was shocked and wanted to leave. After all, he was a stage 6 inner strength martial artist. It was impossible for him to compete with White Fox, the number 1 person in the summit. Yu Xiaochuan, what do you mean? Isn't your Yu clan a righteous sect? How dare you collude with the demon sect? If this matter is known by the righteous sect's martial arts alliance master, you know the consequences. Ouyang Liang threatened. The Yu clan is not enough to invite me. Xiao Chen said indifferently, Zhu Yingxiong is my little brother. He was beaten by you. I'm only here to ask for an explanation. Yu Xiaochuan was not unhappy with Xiao Chen's words. Instead, he felt that Xiao Chen was loyal and did not implicate the Yu clan. He only highlighted that he was asked to come by Zhu Yingxiong. This way, the Yu clan would not have much to do with the Yu clan. As for the Zhu clan, it was just a small family. This kind of family could be either righteous or demonic. It was not like the Yu clan, which was a branch of the Yu clan of Zhenwu. It had already been labeled as a righteous sect and could not be changed. Unless the Yu clan of Zhenwu changed their faction, the Yu clan of Song Ning would not be able to change their faction so easily. So it's him. Ouyang Liang's heart tightened. If White Fox was found by the Yu clan, it could be solved with a little negotiation. However, if it was found by Zhu Yingxiong, this matter would not end so easily. He had seen White Fox's ruthless methods. Those who provoked him would not have a good ending. He subconsciously took 2 steps back. Chapter 421. Standing at the entrance, Ouyang Liang laughed dryly. So that's how it is. That's a misunderstanding. Just pretend that I never came. I'll leave first. Let's not talk about the engagement anymore. Did I let you go? Xiao Chen said coldly when he saw Ouyang Liang trying to escape. White Fox, I didn't know that Zhu Yingxiong is your little brother. Let's forget about this. What else do you want? Ouyang Liang asked weakly. Oh, you seriously injured him and you want to forget about this? Xiao Chen asked. No, what else do you want? Ouyang Liang's breath stagnated. Well. As soon as Xiao Chen's voice fell, he made a move. With a seemingly gentle wave, Ouyang Liang flew out and fell heavily on the ground, vomiting blood. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Yu Xiaochuan was shocked. He didn't know when Xiao Chen became so ruthless. Was this person really the original Xiao Chen? Or was the previous Xiao Chen just a disguise? Thinking of this, Yu Xiaochuan felt a burst of fear. If Xiao Chen didn't like him before, would he have become a corpse? Fortunately, he changed his gender and didn't do anything bad to Tang Tang. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to escape. Inform the Ouyang clan to collect the body and tell them what happened. Xiao Chen said to Yu Xiaochuan, put all the blame on me. Tell the Ouyang clan that if they have the ability, they can challenge the demonic star sect. Yi Xiaoye interrupted. Okay. Yu Xiaochuan didn't dare to neglect. After all, the disciple of the Ouyang clan of Zhenwu died in the Yu clan of Songming. If it wasn't handled well, it might cause a series of troubles. But now that the troubles were taken by the demonic star sect, the Yu clan had nothing to worry about. Yu Xiaochuan called the Ouyang clan of Zhenwu and told them what happened here. Although Ouyang Liang came from a side branch, he was still one of the outstanding disciples of the clan. Although he didn't explicitly say that he would participate in the competition for the young master, he was also one of the disciples who would be trained in the future. Now, he had actually died in the Yu clan. Moreover, he was killed by people from the Demon Star sect. How could the Ouyang clan not be furious? However, the people from the Ouyang family were not fools. They had heard of the White Fox hero's name. He knew that the White Fox swordsman had been in the limelight recently. He possessed the strength of a demonic cultivator at the peak of Stage 8 internal force. With such strength, there were few who could rival him among the younger generation, at least among the true martial arts aristocratic families. Although the current patriarch of the Ouyang clan was an extremely powerful expert, he couldn't act. If he did, it would be equivalent to provoking the other sections. If he killed the White Fox, the old monsters of the Devil Star sect would come out and massacre the Ouyang clan. At that time, it would be a large-scale conflict. Not only would the Martial Artist Guild not allow it, even the Supernatural Investigation Bureau would step in and interfere. Even the Martial Arts Alliance Master and the Demonic Clan Master would not allow such a large-scale conflict. That was a violation of the peace agreement that everyone had signed back then. Large-scale conflicts between sects were prohibited. It didn't matter if it was a personal conflict, but it was absolutely not allowed to escalate to a conflict between sections. Uncle, although Liang Heir was born from my personal maid, he was also a key disciple of our Ouyang clan. He can't die in vain. The man with a sad face was Ouyang Liang and Ouyang Tang's father, Ouyang Hudu. His uncle was the current patriarch of the Ouyang clan, Ouyang Junba. He was also the pillar of the Ouyang clan, an old monster-level existence. Only the people of the Ouyang clan knew how long he had lived. Of course, his age at this time was already several times the lifespan of an ordinary person. Can I do it? Ouyang Junba said coldly. Ouyang Liang, Ouyang Tang, don't use your brains. Don't you know who you can provoke and who you can't? That White Fox is now in the limelight. Provoking his people, isn't that courting death? Then, this hatred can't be avenged? Ouyang Hudu said with grief and indignation. Third brother, don't you understand father's words? The one who spoke was Ouyang Junba's son, Ouyang Hutian. Father just told the children of our Ouyang clan not to be impulsive. We have to plan before we act. Yes, Hudu, you have to learn from Hutian. How many times have I said it? Don't you remember the examples I gave you? Ouyang Junba said, what I said is my personal experience. My two cousins, because they offended a ruthless person, they both died tragically. This is a living example to tell you that you shouldn't provoke people that you shouldn't provoke. But now. Ouyang Hudu smiled bitterly. His ears were getting calluses from listening to the family's teachings. But at that time, the Ouyang clan was just an underworld family, like the Songning Lu clan. Now, the Ouyang clan was a real martial arts family. Was there anything wrong with this? It could only be said that Ouyang Tang and Ouyang Liang were unlucky. They kicked an iron plate. Usually, Ouyang Hutian's son was also bullying outside, but he didn't see him being beaten to death. However, he couldn't say this. Who asked him to be so unlucky? I can't do it, but as their father, you can. Although it's a bit bullying, at least it's in line with the rules. Ouyang Junba said. I'm not his opponent. Ouyang Hudu's face changed. He was just a martial artist at the 8th level of inner force. He was not even as good as White Fox. Wasn't he courting death? There may be other opportunities in the next Righteous Devil Summit. Let Kwang Er do it. This White Fox must be eliminated, but not now. Ouyang Junba said faintly, Hutian, when Kwang Er comes out, ask him to see me. Yes, father. Ouyang Hutian quickly said. This Ouyang Kwang was his son. He was now a martial artist at the peak of the 10th level of inner force. He was now in a life and death retreat. For a martial artist, it was the most important hurdle in life. If he could break through, he would be like a carp leaping through the dragon's gate. However, Ouyang Kwang didn't seem to be interested in the fight for the head of the family. He had been training crazily since he was a child. He was also crazy about challenging others. He liked the feeling of stepping on all the masters of his generation. Ouyang Hudu, go and ask someone to bring Ouyang Liang's body back. Don't have any conflict with White Fox. This matter will be decided after Kwang Er comes out. Ouyang Junba ordered. Yes. Ouyang Hudu was depressed. He thought that one of his two sons could fight for the position of the head of the family. At the very least, he could become an elder of the family. But now, one was dead and the other was injured. How could he not be sad? What surprised Xiao Chen was that the Ouyang family only sent a few ordinary disciples to take away Ouyang Liang's body. They didn't provoke or threaten to fight. It was as if this matter was just an ordinary matter and had nothing to do with the Ouyang family. This calm reaction made Xiao Chen frown slightly. What did the Ouyang family want to do? They didn't say anything about revenge. They also didn't say that this matter was over. Even if they asked, it would be useless. Xiao Chen secretly raised his guard. This Ouyang family was really good at enduring. If someone was killed on the summit, it was still possible to endure. But if someone was killed in private, how many of them would be able to endure and not take revenge? However, this also made Xiao Chen feel that there was an expert in the Ouyang family. At least, the person in charge of the Ouyang family had a clear mind and wasn't impulsive. They couldn't even be compared to the Extreme Ice sect. When someone from the Extreme Ice sect died, the first thing they thought of was revenge. As for the Ouyang family, from Xiao Chen's point of view, it wasn't because they were afraid of the martial family. To be able to become a martial family, their foundation was very strong. They were completely different from ordinary families. The Qing family was so powerful now, but they still couldn't become a martial family. So there must be a problem. However, on the surface, Xiao Chen didn't say this. He just had to be careful. He just said to Yu Xiaochuan, okay, I'll leave first. If there's anything, contact me at any time. Okay, Hero White Fox, thank you. Yu Xiaochuan said quickly. Thank you. Yu Shanshan was also very grateful to Xiao Chen. Previously, she was a little angry that he stole her brother's wife, but now, there was no resentment. After all, her brother also said that he couldn't touch women while he was cultivating. Moreover, Xiao Chen saved her man and stood up for them. How could she be angry with Xiao Chen again? Xiao Chen waved his hand, indicating that Zhu Yingxiong should rest well. He nodded to Tang Tang and left the Yu family with Yi Xiaoya. Looking at Xiao Chen's car, Yi Xiaoya was a little surprised. Isn't this Xiao Chen's car? Why did it come to your place? Even if Yi Xiaoya didn't ask, Xiao Chen had to explain to her. He said, Zhu Yingxiong is Xiao Chen's little brother, which is also my little brother. I'm helping Xiao Chen. Oh. You're quite loyal. Hearing that White Fox was helping Xiao Chen, Yi Xiaoya didn't raise any objection. Xiao Chen thought that Yi Xiaoya didn't say that he was nosy because he was a neighbor. Aren't we the people of Jianghu supposed to be loyal? Xiao Chen said with a smile. Well, we in the Demon Gate are all people of character. We are much better than those righteous sects who are full of righteousness and are more overbearing than anyone else. They are all hypocrites who only protect their own interests and suppress us, the Demon Gate. Yi Xiaoya snorted. Sooner or later, we will let them know the power of the Demon Gate. You have a strong sense of belonging to the Demon Gate. Xiao Chen sighed. Aren't you? Yi Xiaoya thought for a moment and said, but you may be a little worse. After all, you practice by yourself. Even if your master is from the Demon Gate, he can't tell you too much, so your sense of belonging may be relatively poor. Maybe. Xiao Chen didn't deny it. In fact, Xiao Chen had never seen the beautiful ant that Yi Xiaoya mentioned, but he was happy to misunderstand, so he didn't have to explain too much. Chapter 422. Right, it's right for you to help Xiao Chen. Yi Xiaoya suddenly said. What do you mean? Xiao Chen was stunned. You're not interested in him, are you? I went to help him. Not only did you not say that I was nosy, but you also asked me to help him more? What are you talking about? Yi Xiaoya blushed and said, I want to say that the beautiful auntie who taught you cultivation may have some relationship with Xiao Chen, so you should help him more. Don't let him get hurt. Oh. Xiao Chen's heart tightened. Why? The beautiful auntie that Yi Xiaoya mentioned has a relationship with Xiao Chen? But. Why didn't I know? I am Xiao Chen. Whether it was the identity of Xiao Chen or the White Fox, I have never seen any beautiful auntie. What's the relationship between her and Xiao Chen? Xiao Chen asked calmly. It's hard to say specifically. Don't ask. This is our sect's internal secret. I can't say it casually. Don't force me. Yi Xiaoya shook her head. Okay. Although Xiao Chen was very puzzled, since Yi Xiaoya said so, he naturally couldn't force her. Let's go. Let's go home. I didn't cultivate yesterday. My strength didn't improve much. Yi Xiaoya complained. But, it's already morning, Xiao Chen said as he pointed outside the window. You're so annoying. Don't not look for me in the middle of the night next time. Yi Xiaoya just remembered that it was already daytime. How embarrassing would it be if they cultivated together? Okay, as long as I'm fine, I'll look for you. Xiao Chen promised quickly. Okay. Yi Xiaoya nodded. After driving back to the villa, Xiao Chen asked Yi Xiaoya to come in. He parked the car and pretended to leave the villa area on foot. In fact, he just walked around and found a place where nobody was around to change his clothes. Then, he returned to the villa with Xiao Chen's face. After a simple wash, Xiao Chen drove to the Qing family's villa. He still needed to pick up Qing Menjing and Jean Bebe. He drove all the way to the Qing family's villa. He sent a message to the eldest young miss, asking if she had woken up yet. Very soon, the eldest young miss replied, saying that she was having breakfast in the Qing family's dining room and that Xiao Chen could come over directly. Xiao Chen's car wasn't stopped at the entrance because he had sent Missy here yesterday. He arrived at the entrance of the Qing family's dining room. Xiao Chen got out of the car and walked in. However, when he saw the people who were eating, he slowed down slightly. There were only 2 tables in the restaurant. One table was for the direct descendants of the Qing family, and the other table was for the relatives and some womenfolk of the Qing family, such as Qing Mingxiang and Qing Menjing's mother, who were not of the Qing family surname. Qing Menjing was naturally sitting at the table for the direct descendants of the Qing family. To Xiao Chen's surprise, Jean Bebe was also sitting there. However, considering that she was a guest, it was understandable. But that was nothing. What shocked Xiao Chen the most was that there was another person who was not of the Qing family at that table. It was Xiao Xiao. To his surprise, Xiao Xiao was also here. Xiao Chen sighed slightly. It seemed that Xiao Xiao was finally with Cheng Mingxiang. Grandpa Cheng, Uncle Zhongming, Uncle Zhongfan. Xiao Chen had no choice but to walk over and greet them. Humph. Old Master Cheng snorted coldly. Ignoring them, he lowered his head and continued to eat. Xiao Chen, you are here. Have you had breakfast? Would you like to sit down and eat with me? Cheng Zhongming said warmly. Brother, have you forgotten how Zhongqian disappeared? Cheng Zhongfan glanced at Cheng Zhongming and reminded him. Well. Cheng Zhongming's expression froze slightly. I'm not eating. I'm here to take Missy and Bebe back to the villa. Xiao Chen smiled and didn't take it seriously. He was now basically sure that there were almost no good people in the Cheng family except for Cheng Zhongming, so he didn't bother to build a good relationship with them. When the time comes, he would definitely kill them. Why would he care so much? It's important to have self-awareness and know your position. It's not bad. Old Master Cheng glanced at Xiao Chen and nodded with satisfaction. Because Xiao Chen's words positioned himself as a servant, always remember that you, a member of the Xiao family, is a sinner of the Cheng family. He is not a member of the Xiao family. Xiao Xiao said coldly. That's right. Why are you angry because of a person who was kicked out of the Xiao family? Grandpa, uncle, father, let's eat. Cheng Mingxiang also laughed. Cheng Menjing glared at Xiao Xiao angrily. She didn't understand why Xiao Xiao said this to her brother. Even if he was kicked out of the family, it couldn't change the fact that he was a member of the Xiao family, right? Moreover, Xiao Chen wasn't as useless as everyone thought. Besides, how could Xiao Chen be blamed for the disappearance of her uncle? Now in Cheng Menjing's opinion, it was most likely that Cheng Mingxiang was behind it. He was there with Xiao Xiao, a thief crying thief. I'm full. Bebe, let's go back. Cheng Menjing stood up and said, Grandpa, father, second uncle, I'll go back first. Why, Menjing, you don't want to listen to us talking about Xiao Chen? Do you still have a fiancé in your heart? Cheng Zhongfan said sarcastically. Of course, there was nothing wrong with his question. After all, Xiao Chen was the common enemy of the Cheng family. Uncle Cheng, don't be angry. Xiao Chen is her servant. If he is beaten to a pulp, it won't look good for her, right? You have to look at the owner before you beat the dog. Although he has been kicked out of the Xiao family, if he does anything to harm the Xiao family, I will also be unhappy. Xiao Xiao said to Cheng Zhongfan with a smile. Yes, let's save some face for my sister. Cheng Mingxiang nodded and smiled. He found that Xiao Xiao was really on the same side as the Cheng family now. She didn't forget to insult Xiao Chen. This was a good thing. Cheng Mingxiang was afraid that Xiao Xiao would be unhappy if she found out that he killed Xiao Chen and would throw a tantrum with him. But from the looks of it now, killing Xiao Xiao would only be said to be getting rid of a scourge for the Xiao family. Cheng Menjing was a little annoyed. Is she Xiao Chen's biological sister? Is she not his biological sister? How could she say that? She turned around and left with Jean Bebe with a gloomy face. Xiao Chen shrugged and followed them. He turned a deaf ear to Xiao Zhao's criticism, as if he didn't hear it at all. After leaving the Cheng family's restaurant and returning to the car, the eldest miss was still indignant. Xiao Chen, why is your relationship with Xiao Xiao so bad? Why does she always speak up for Cheng Mingxiang's family? In the past, our relationship was actually quite good, but I don't know when it started, but she rarely spoke to me anymore. Xiao Chen sighed, feeling a little emotional. Thinking back to when he was young, Xiao Xiao always followed him to school, followed him after school, stuck to him whenever there was nothing to do, and even said that she would marry him when she grew up. Xiao Chen felt a little sad. He didn't know when Xiao Xiao gradually alienated and treated him coldly. She didn't have the same feeling as when they were young anymore. When Xiao Xiao saw him at home, she just nodded coldly and sneered at the engagement between him and Cheng Menjing. However, she was right. He would break off the engagement sooner or later. When I was young, my sister always thought that her brother was the best. But when she grew up and saw more, her opinion might have changed. In fact, it's like me. I used to think that Xiao En's was quite awesome, but now it seems that he is also a filthy person, Qing Menjing said. How can you compare me with him? Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Besides, isn't your relationship with Qing Mingxiang just as bad? We've always been bad. We haven't been good since we were young, not until later. Qing Menjing said, forget it, let's not talk about this. Let's go back. Another week has passed. Time flies. Yes. I'm so sleepy. I didn't sleep well last night, so cousin Menjing talked to me. Cousin-in-law, hurry up and drive. Bebe is going back to catch up on sleep. Jean Bebe said. It's such a good weekend, but you're sleeping. Qing Menjing glared at her and yawned. Cousin Menjing is sleepy, too. Jean Bebe shouted excitedly as if she had discovered a new continent. I've been infected by you, Qing Menjing said grumpily. Xiao Chen smiled and drove back to the villa. Miss Su and Jean Bebe went upstairs to sleep. Xiao Chen had nothing to do. In the past, when he and Tang Tang went to the morning market to sell fried dough sticks, he would either go out with Miss Su or attend a summit. Anyway, his schedule was full, and he had no time to rest. But now, he didn't know what to do. Since he couldn't go to Yi Xiaoya for dual cultivation, Xiao Chen had nothing to do. He planned to go out and take a look at the antique market and the old goods market to see if he could buy ancient jade or something. However, as soon as he went out, something happened. Kerlin was busy selling noodles. With a good location, the flow of customers increased. But to Kerlin's surprise, Lu Shuangshuang came to the morning market early in the morning to help her sell noodles as a free part-time worker. Lu Shuangshuang, aren't you going to sell binoculars? Kerlin was a little confused. The business should be better on Saturdays and Sundays, right? Why did she come here instead of selling binoculars? I'm not going. I'm going to help you sell noodles. You see how busy I am today. If I weren't here, I would have missed several batches of customers and made less than 100 yuan. Lu Shuangshuang said with a smile. Kerlin was a little speechless. You can make nearly 5,000 yuan by selling a binocular. Why do you care about my 100 yuan? I won't give it to you even if you say it again. I didn't ask for it. Lu Shuangshuang said, I'm here to help for free. Lu Shuangshuang, is there something wrong? Why do I feel that you have something to talk to me about? Kerlin frowned and looked at Lu Shuangshuang. She grew up with Lu Shuangshuang. She knew Lu Shuangshuang's character very well. Lu Shuangshuang regarded money as her life. How could she give up such a good time to sell binoculars and come to help for no reason? Lu Shuangshuang was a warm-hearted person. Sometimes she would come to help after work in the warriors' market. But now the warriors' market was still open. Chapter 423. No. Lu Shuangshuang quickly put away the spinach in her hand and began to peel the braised egg. She was very busy. If you don't want to say it, then forget it. I won't help you even if you say it later, said Kerlin. Then I have it. Lu Shuangshuang said quickly. You have it again? Kerlin looked at Lu Shuangshuang with a smile and said, Lu Shuangshuang, I said you have something, right? You see, if you have something, just say it. Do we still need to be like this? This matter, it may be a little difficult for you, but, can you help me? Lu Shuangshuang hesitated and said shyly. Shuangshuang, you haven't said what it is. How can I help you? Kerlin was a little dumbfounded. What else can it be difficult for me? You don't want to borrow money from me, right? Then I don't have a penny. My scholarship has to be handed over to my parents. Although I lack money, I can barely support my family. My business won't open for 3 months, but once it opens, it will eat for 3 months. Lu Shuangshuang said, "It's something else." "Oh, what is it?" Kerlin suddenly had some doubts. "What can Lu Shuangshuang ask for from me?" "I want to borrow someone from you." Lu Shuangshuang looked at Kerlin's expression and said carefully. "Borrow someone? Borrow who?" Kerlin was stunned. "My family, only my dad and mom." "Aya, why are you so stupid?" "Of course, I want to borrow your boyfriend." Lu Shuangshuang said with a smile, "How about it? Do you want to borrow him?" My boyfriend?" Kerlin was stunned. She didn't know what to say. After a while, she said, "Shuangshuang, I don't have a boyfriend." "Don't talk nonsense." "Why not? He accompanied you to pee. If he wasn't your boyfriend, with your shy character, would you take off your pants in front of him?" Lu Shuangshuang pulled Kerlin to the side. "Now let's talk alone. Uncle and auntie can't hear us. I know you don't want your family to know that you are in a relationship. I'm not in puppy love." Kerlin stomped her feet. "I told you, he's not my boyfriend. He's just sending me home. You all went to get a room, don't think I don't know." Lu Shuangshuang said. "Aya, I really didn't." "You misunderstood, Shuangshuang." Kerlin explained a little frantically, "He really isn't my boyfriend. There was a special situation that day. I fainted, and he happened to see me. He took me to rest for a while and then sent me home. In the end, I had to go to the toilet, and then I met a pervert. I was scared, so I asked him to accompany me." Oh, I believe you. Can you lend him to me for a while?" Although Lu Shuangshuang said that she believed him, she obviously didn't. Otherwise, why would she continue to ask Kerlin for a boyfriend? "Shuangshuang, why don't you believe me? He's really not my boyfriend. How can I lend it to you?" Kerlin said helplessly, "All right, go do your work. Go to the warrior guild and sell your stuff." "Kuer, I really have something big. Please help me." Lu Shuangshuang was a little anxious. "You can't leave me in the lurch." "How can I leave you in the lurch?" Kerlin smiled bitterly and said, "Shuangshuang, Xiaochen isn't my boyfriend. Besides, if you lend him to me, can he save you?" Yes. Lu Shuangshuang nodded. "Isn't this our junior high school reunion? That fat bear from our class, you should know him, right? He's the school bully from our middle school. Didn't he always pursue me in school? A few days ago, I don't know why he heard that my family is in trouble, so he said that he wanted to take care of me. I was angry, so I said that I already have a rich boyfriend. In the end, I didn't expect that it's a reunion. If I don't bring him, won't I lose face?" Kerlin was a little speechless. Why is this Lu Shuangshuang so vain? She can even brag like this. However, she knew about Fat Bear. Although she wasn't in the same class as Lu Shuangshuang in junior high, she had heard about such a famous school bully like Fat Bear. However, at that time, she was a well-behaved girl who was protected by the teachers in school. She had the hope of getting into number 1 middle school or number 2 middle school with her real results, so no one harassed her. However, when she reached high school, it was completely different. This was different from her ordinary middle school. There were more bad guys here. Those rich young masters were even more unscrupulous than Fat Bear. If it wasn't for Xiao Chen who always looked after her, she really didn't know if she would be defiled or not. Sometimes, Kerlin kept thinking, why is my luck so bad? Shuangshuang, then why don't you not go to the reunion? Kerlin suggested weakly. How can I not go? I promised him before. This reunion was agreed a long time ago. I didn't expect it to be tonight. In the end, I just talked to Fat Bear about it 2 days ago. Lu Shuangshuang said with a bitter face. You are vain. It's useless. Kerlin didn't know what to say. Although I want to help, he really isn't my boyfriend. I can't trouble him. It's okay. Give me your phone number. I will call him. I will talk to him. Lu Shuangshuang said. This isn't very good, right? Kerlin felt that giving someone else's phone number was a kind of immoral behavior. Aya, then I will ask uncle and auntie for it. Lu Shuangshuang pretended to leave. Okay, I am really scared of you. I will give it to you. But don't talk nonsense. You look for him in your own name. Don't say anything about me. Kerlin couldn't help it. She could only say so, but she still warned her. I know. Give it to me. Lu Shuangshuang said eagerly. Kerlin wrote down Xiao Chen's phone number and gave it to Lu Shuangshuang. Then she went back to work. She was pulled over by Lu Shuangshuang for a long time. The business there was a little busy. Lu Shuangshuang rolled her eyes. She took out her mobile phone and dialed Xiao Chen's number. She had a mobile phone. Perhaps only a good girl like Kerlin didn't have a mobile phone. Hello? Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. There was a strange call from his mobile phone card. Is it Kuer's boyfriend? Lu Shuangshuang asked with a smile. Kuer's boyfriend? You called the wrong number. Xiao Chen said subconsciously. He was about to hang up the phone. His identity was not anyone's boyfriend. Even Tang Tang's identity was not disclosed to the public. Hey, wait. Don't hang up. Lu Shuangshuang said hurriedly. Are you Xiao Chen? I am. You are? Xiao Chen thought he called the wrong number. He didn't expect that the other party could call his name. He listened carefully. It seemed that the other party's voice was also familiar. Where did he hear it? I'm Lu Shuangshuang. I'm Kerlin's good friend. The one who sells binoculars. Did you forget? We met in Temple Street and in the toilet. Lu Shuangshuang quickly reminded him. Oh, it's you. What's the matter? Xiao Chen knew the other party's identity, so he asked. Here's the thing. Can I ask you a favor? Lu Shuangshuang asked with some expectation. Tonight, do you have anything to do? Tonight? Nothing, but tell me what's the matter first. Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. He didn't understand why Lu Shuangshuang was looking for him. His current identity was Xiao Chen, not White Fox. What could she ask from him? This is the case. I have a classmate gathering. I want you to accompany me, said Lu Shuangshuang. What? Xiao Chen was a little stunned. Your classmate gathering. Why do you want me to go? I don't know those classmates of yours. Xiao Chen was a little dumbfounded at the moment. What is Lu Shuangshuang's logic? Is she familiar with me? Even if we are familiar, her classmate gathering has nothing to do with me, right? I want you to pretend to be my boyfriend and deceive someone. Lu Shuangshuang said, is that okay? No, I don't have time. Xiao Chen refused directly. How could he have the time? It's really inexplicable. Aya, just do me a favor. I know you haven't won over Kerlin yet. At most, I will help you put in a few good words in the future. How about it? Lu Shuangshuang suggested. That won't work. This has nothing to do with me. I'm not free. Xiao Chen refused flatly. Okay, you're turning your back on me. Last time, I said that if I need your help in the future, don't refuse, and you agreed. Now you're not going to admit it? Lu Shuangshuang said with some anger. Did I agree? Xiao Chen was stunned. He didn't remember. Even if he agreed, it was just polite words. How could she take it seriously? However, Lu Shuangshuang obviously took it seriously. Xiao Chen was a little helpless. Then tell me, why do you want me to pretend to be your boyfriend? You're not that old now, right? Your classmates should also be in their third year of high school. At this age, why do you have a boyfriend? No, I'm 1 year older than Kerlin. My classmates are all in their first year of high school. Now it's a junior high class reunion. The main thing is that there's a person I don't like who keeps chasing me. I have no choice but to tell him that I found a very rich and powerful boyfriend. He doesn't believe me, so I have to bring him to the reunion. Lu Shuangshuang explained, you also know that I'm selling binoculars every day. I'm so busy. How can I find time to find a boyfriend? Besides, my grandma is still sick. I have to go back and take care of her when I have time. If I get into such trouble, he will bother me all day long. I can only deal with him. After listening to Lu Shuangshuang say so much, Xiaochen suddenly had a headache. It really was this kind of **t. However, he really didn't have anything to do at night. After thinking about it, it was just a little effort, so he agreed. Okay, then I'll help you once. However, I won't care in the future. Don't do it again and again. This time, it's because of Kuer. Chapter 424. Okay, it can't be endless. Lu Shuangshuang was overjoyed and quickly reminded him, then at 4:00 tonight, pick me up at the entrance of the Warrior Guild. Remember to drive your Land Rover. Xiaochen muttered the word gold digger in his heart, but he still nodded and agreed, okay. Xiaochen was a person who valued his promises. Since he might really promise to help Lu Shuangshuang in the future, he wouldn't decline. He originally wanted to go out, but now there was no need to go out. He would rest at home and go find Lu Shuangshuang at night. He went out and came back. Yi Xiaoya saw Xiaochen drive out and come back. She was a little puzzled. She was fiddling with her flower bed. When she saw Xiaochen park the car, she asked, "Where did you go? Why are you back so soon?" "Nothing. I just went out for a walk, but it was boring, so I came back. I'm going to sleep." Xiaochen greeted her and went back to the bedroom. Looking at Xiaochen's lazy back, Yi Xiaoya frowned. This person, why is he like this? I've tried so hard to help him, but he's still sloppy. If only he could be like the white fox. Unconsciously, Yi Xiaoya thought of the white fox. During this period of time, it was impossible to say that Yi Xiaoya didn't have a good impression of the white fox. A young man and a woman working together to do a mission, and they even took off their clothes and rested together. How could Yi Xiaoya not have any of those thoughts? However, Yi Xiaoya had to control herself. As one of the candidates for the demon sect saintess, she was bound by the marriage contract from the moment she was chosen. She had no right to choose her love. Unless the next demon sect leader was born and the demon sect saintess was born, her marriage contract would be automatically dissolved. Otherwise, not only would the demon sect not let her go, but the sect would not let her go either. This was also the reason why she was determined not to let the white fox have dual cultivation with her during the day. As for Xiaochen, Yi Xiaoya always had complicated feelings for him. She wanted to help him, but there were many things that she couldn't say out loud. She hoped that he could quickly gain the ability to protect himself. Otherwise, when that person came out of seclusion, things would become quite complicated. Shaking her head, Yi Xiaoya withdrew her thoughts and continued to play with the flowers and plants in the flower bed. Back in the room, Xiaochen received an email on his mobile phone. It was from the same sender as last time. This made Xiaochen slightly surprised, and he quickly opened the content of the email. It was this person who hinted at Cheng Mingxiang's problem last time. The content of the email was as simple as the last time: family gathering Chao Yuliang Cheng Mingxiang's villa, get rid of you. However, although the content was brief, Xiaochen understood it at a glance. The context was clearer than the previous time. It directly and clearly explained that there was a problem between Chao Yuliang and Cheng Mingxiang, and they wanted to kill him. Although Xiaochen was very puzzled about who this person was and why would he send such a text message to him. It was reasonable to say that this person should be a person who cared more about him, but why did he know so clearly about Chao Yuliang and Cheng Mingxiang's matters? Xiaochen knew one person who had this possibility, and that was the young Mississippi. She knew Chao Yuliang and was familiar with Cheng Mingxiang. It was naturally not too difficult to know these situations. However, what Xiao Chen couldn't figure out was that the young miss didn't need to tell him in such a form. Wouldn't it be better if she told him directly? In the past, perhaps she was scrupulous about the relationship between him and the Qing family, so she couldn't say it openly. However, 2 days ago, Xiao Chen had an open and honest talk with her. The young miss also promised to help, so there was no need to tell him in this form. If this person wasn't the young miss, who would it be? Who else could have been paying attention to this matter? Xiao Chen always felt that something was wrong. A thought flashed in his mind. He seemed to have thought of something, but it was very vague. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen directly sent a text message to the young miss, Menjing, "How is the situation? What did you say about Chao Yuliang's matter?" This text message was sent very obscurely. Even if Qing Menjing forgot to delete it, others wouldn't think that there was a problem if they saw it. Not long after the text message was sent, Xiao Chen heard the sound of someone coming down the stairs outside the door. Obviously, the young miss came down. It could be seen that she was a very careful person. She didn't say it directly in the phone. Xiao Chen pushed open the door and walked out, just in time to see Qing Menjing in her pajamas. Her eyes were a little drowsy, but her cheeks were rosy, making her look exceptionally delicate. There was an indescribable charm to her as she stretched lazily. Perhaps only her husband would be qualified to appreciate such a scene in the future, but Xiao Chen had seen it now. Sometimes, Xiao Chen couldn't tell his position in the young Mississippi. Was she the hostess or the fiancée? If Xiao Chen had always been the good-for-nothing Xiao Chen, he probably wouldn't have so many thoughts now. After all, it was definitely impossible between him and the young Mississippi. But now, his strength couldn't be said to be the best in the world, but at least in Songning City. After Qing Zhongming's previous hint, Xiao Chen's thoughts about Qing Menjing became active again. Xiao Chen didn't know what was wrong with him. He obviously had Shen Jingxian and Tang Tang, but he still had thoughts about Qing Menjing. This was not his previous character at all. At that time, he was only crazy about Shen Jingxian. He didn't even have other thoughts about Kerlin. What are you looking at? Qing Menjing found that Xiao Chen's eyes were staring at her, and she felt a little uncomfortable. Now you know that I'm beautiful, right? But it's too late. Your engagement has been broken off. What were you doing earlier? Hee hee, it's not too late now. At least I can see you every day. Xiao Chen laughed. Humph, I don't want to talk about this with you. Qing Menjing glared at Xiao Chen and said, I was in a daze and fell asleep with Bei Bei, so I forgot to tell you. Bei Bei followed Chao Yuliang here yesterday and found that he entered Cheng Mingxiang's villa. As for what they talked about, Bei Bei had no way of knowing, but, your previous guess is really possible. Sure enough. If Xiao Chen didn't particularly believe the anonymous email, then he had to believe what Qing Menjing said to him. Sure enough, there was something wrong with Cheng Mingxiang. In this way, things became complicated. How much was the Qing family involved? Did Qing Zhongming know? But Xiao Chen felt that Qing Zhongming shouldn't know. He was on his side, so the Qing family was left with Old Master Cheng and Qing Zhongfan. Among these two, Qing Zhongfan must have something wrong. Whether there was something wrong with Old Master Cheng, it was still unknown for the time being. But these were not important. It was easy to deal with the target. With Xiao Chen's current strength, it was not enough to crush the Qing family. The strength of Old Master Cheng was said to be unfathomable. No one had seen him show his strength in recent years. Xiao Chen was confident in dealing with Qing Mingxiang and Qing Zhongfan, but he didn't know if Old Master Cheng would jump out. If he was the behind-the-scenes mastermind, then if Xiao Chen killed Qing Mingxiang and Qing Zhongfan in advance, it would only alert the enemy. Looking at Xiao Chen's uncertain expression, Qing Menjing asked with some concern, Xiao Chen, are you going to find someone to deal with Qing Mingxiang? Not for the time being. Let's wait and see. Xiao Chen sighed. He finally confronted the Qing family. This wasn't the situation he wanted to see. After all, that was the Mrs. home. You, protect yourself. When I'm here, I can help you. When I'm not here, you can only rely on yourself. Qing Menjing said, if you want to do something, just do it. Don't worry about my feelings. If, one day, if I find out that the behind-the-scenes mastermind is your grandfather, and I confront your grandfather, will you hate me? Xiao Chen hesitated and asked. Cheng Menjing lowered her head. After a while, she raised her head and said, don't joke around. How can my grandfather deal with you? He shouldn't do this. Oh. Why? Xiao Chen was slightly surprised. You don't understand my grandfather's character. Although he is headstrong and very self-centered, he is not good at scheming. If he wants to deal with you, he will say it. The Qing family wants to deal with you. In the beginning, if he really wanted you to die, he would have forced you to die directly. He wouldn't use these conspiracies behind the scenes. He even let Qiao Yuliang jump out to be the vanguard. Cheng Menjing said. Xiao Chen nodded. It seemed that what Cheng Menjing said made some sense. Old Master Cheng's character should be like this. As the first aristocratic family in Songning, he had the capital to be strong and arrogant. There was no need for any conspiracies. It was also possible to use Qing Zhongqian's matter as an opportunity to make him pay with his life, but he didn't do so. Instead, he used so many complicated means, which proved that this wasn't his original intention. In that case, it should be Qing Zhongfan and Qing Mingxiang's problem. Xiao Chen said, actually, what I want to say is, one day, if I get rid of these people, will you be sad? Originally. I will. Cheng Menjing pursed her lips, but, during that car race, Qiao Yuliang wanted to get rid of me too. Why should I be sad for them? I don't believe that it was Qiao Yuliang's idea. As for that Li Shanpao, there was no conflict of interest between us. He didn't want to kill me. I'm relieved to hear that. Xiao Chen smiled, thank you for supporting your fiancé. When I return to the Xiao family, I will treat you as a hero and enshrine you in the Xiao family's ancestral hall. Go to hell. Are you cursing me to die early? Cheng Menjing kicked Xiao Chen. Also, what is the relationship between me and your Xiao family? Whose fiancé are you? You still want to get rid of others. You should be careful first. Don't get yourself killed. Chapter 425. Hee hee. Xiao Chen smiled. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going upstairs to sleep. Cheng Menjing said and went upstairs. By the way, I'm going out tonight. I'll prepare the meal before I leave. Xiao Chen said to Cheng Menjing. But don't run around if you have nothing to do. If you're killed by someone, I'll be scolded as a bad husband. Cheng Menjing said and disappeared at the end of the stairs. Back in the room, Xiao Chen repeatedly looked at the two emails. He was a little puzzled. These two emails were definitely not sent by Miss Xiao. When the first email was sent, Miss Xiao didn't know about it. But, who else could it be other than her? Could it be you, Xiaochuan? That's not right. He only knew about my identity as White Fox on Tang Tang's wedding night. He had no reason to please Xiao Chen's identity before. This made Xiao Chen a little puzzled, but he couldn't figure it out no matter how he thought about it. He could only give up for the time being. At the same time, in the Xiao family in Songning. Today was a joyous day for the Xiao family. For the Xiao family, this was a very historic day because the Xiao family's products were introduced to the world. Today, the Sun family brought two foreign businessmen and was ready to sign a contract with the Xiao family. In this way, the Xiao family's business would grow bigger and bigger. On Xiao Yuanshan's face, there was also a warm smile. After all, the overall situation of the Xiao family was getting better and better, and Xiao Chen's return to the Xiao family was inevitable. Although he was deeply poisoned, he was still very pleased to see the Xiao family flourishing day by day. After all, when the Xiao family's business strength improved and Xiao Chen returned to the Xiao family, even if the Xiao family couldn't keep the top 4 of the aristocratic families, they could still keep the bottom 5. At that time, because of the marriage between Xiao Xiao and Qing Mingxiang, the Qing family would have to take care of them. In this way, even if Xiao Yuanshan were to die, he could be at ease. After all, he didn't have much time left. The poison in his body was getting more and more complicated, and he couldn't hold on for much longer. In the past, the Xiao family's main business was sales agents. They owned a chain of pharmacies and several chains of supermarkets, all of which purchased and sold goods. This kind of sales agent business was limited to one city, so it was impossible to make much profit. For ordinary people, this was probably a lot, but for aristocratic families, it was really nothing. The expenditure of aristocratic families was quite large. Those precious herbs, medicinal liquids, and pills used for cultivation were all sky-high prices. In the past, the Xiao family only managed to make ends meet, but it was just enough and even a little tight. But now, with the integration of all the Sun family's channels and business, those retail stores were all taken out and converted into funds. They started to specialize in the herb business, and these two were Japan's herb distributors. Once this contract was signed, the Xiao family would mainly help this foreign businessman to purchase herbs and sell them directly. They wouldn't have to spend so much effort to find another buyer. In the future, there wouldn't be a problem at all. Medicine Master's son, we've really troubled you this time. Xiao Hai rubbed his hands and said excitedly, the scale of the Xiao family's business can't go unnoticed because of your Sun family. Mr. Xiao, you're too kind. When our Sun family was in danger and in dire straits, it was your Xiao family who cooperated with us. Now that our Sun family has regained our footing, it's also because of the Xiao family. Medicine Master Sun smiled and said, our Sun family doesn't covet too much profit. We're already very happy to be able to make a living under the Xiao family's protection. Medicine Master Sun, don't worry. With the Xiao family around, the Sun family will definitely not suffer a loss. Xiao Hai patted Medicine Master Sun's shoulder gratefully. He was an honest person and didn't know how to speak, but his face was full of gratitude. Medicine Master Sun, the two foreign businessmen are here. At this time, Sun Yuming walked in and said to Medicine Master Sun and Xiao Hai. Okay, Medicine Master Sun, let's go welcome them together. Xiao Hai and Medicine Master Sun walked to the door together. At this time, two Japanese people walked in, and behind them were two beautiful female bodyguards in black. Mr. Xiao, let me introduce you. This is Mr. Maeda, the purchasing manager of the Golden Island Herb Sales Group. Beside him is his assistant, Mr. Fui. Medicine Master Sun introduced them to Xiao Hai. Mr. Maeda, Mr. Fui, nice to meet you. Xiao Hai warmly went over to shake their hands. All the business of the Xiao family was handled by Medicine Master Sun and Sun Yuming, including the negotiations with foreign businessmen. Xiao Hai was only the chairman in name. After all, he wasn't good at business at all. The few chain pharmacies and supermarkets in the past had made him dizzy. Now that the business had expanded overseas, he didn't have the energy and brain to support it. Therefore, he could only give full authority to Medicine Master Sun and Sun Yuming. Fortunately, these two people were very obedient and would report to him about all the big and small matters. He knew about the cooperation with the foreign businessmen before and had been negotiating. Finally, they reached an agreement according to the conditions that both sides could accept, so he came to sign the contract officially today. Mr. Xiao, I've heard a lot about you. The two people in your company are really amazing. They made us have no choice but to give in again and again. Mr. Maeda said with a smile, Medicine Master Sun is really good at grading the quality of herbs, and this director's son doesn't give in even an inch in terms of price. I admire you. Mr. Xiao, with these two generals, the company doesn't have to worry about not making money. You flatter me. After Xiao Hai heard that, he smiled happily and said, Mr. Maeda, then according to our previous agreement, let's sign the contract as soon as possible. Then, our Xiao family will set up a banquet. After we sign the contract, we will celebrate together. Good, very good. Great cooperation. Mr. Maeda laughed heartily. After the contract was signed, Mr. Maeda asked Mr. Fui to pay the purchase deposit, and on the Sun family's side, they could start purchasing in large quantities. Xiao Yuanshan also attended the banquet, but he quickly left. In the eyes of outsiders, he was giving face to the Sun family, but he knew that his health was getting worse and worse, and he wasn't in the right condition to drink. Looking at the table, Xiao Hai's face was full of smiles, and Medicine Master Sun Yuming, and the foreign businessmen were all smiling. He didn't know why, but his mood suddenly became heavy. He felt that this brightness was only on the surface, but thinking about it carefully, it was no wonder. This was all the credit of the Sun family. If one day, the Sun family went on their own, the Xiao family would once again return to their previous situation. Now, he could only pray that he could live for a few more years, and that the Sun family didn't betray him, and try their best to let Xiao Chen return and marry Qing Menjing. As long as they gave birth to a descendant who could cultivate martial power, the Xiao family would basically have no worries. But sometimes, the idea was good, it just wasn't known if it could be realized. At night, Xiao Chen prepared the meal and drove to the entrance of the warrior guild. Since he had promised Lu Shuangshuang, he couldn't break the promise. Lu Shuangshuang was already standing at the entrance looking around excitedly. When she saw Xiao Chen's car, she immediately walked up, opened the door, and jumped in. She said with a smile, "Xiao Chen, you really kept your promise. Thank you this time. Alright, let's not talk about this." Xiao Chen's words were slightly sluggish, because the white light appeared again, as if someone was secretly taking pictures from behind. This was the second time he had such a feeling. However, at the entrance of the warrior guild, Xiao Chen didn't dare to act rashly. It wasn't good to show his strength, so he could only let the person who took pictures leave. It was just that Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. Who was taking pictures of me? What was the point? Xiao Chen started the car and continued to speak without batting an eyelid. "Tell me first, what's going on with this reunion? Where is it?" "The reunion is in the nearby Jiduan city, Immortal Resort." Lu Shuangshuang said, "I haven't been there before, but it's not far from Songning City." "Pfft, it's already out of the city. It's not far. Why didn't you say so earlier?" Xiao Chen was a little speechless. He thought that attending a reunion would only take one night. In this way, he would probably have to stay there for the night. Xiao Chen couldn't dual cultivate with Yi Xiaoya again. It was really F***ed up. Isn't the reunion usually going to the resort to play? Lu Shuangshuang said weakly. Forget it. Since Xiao Chen had already promised, it wasn't good to go back on his words. He started the car directly and sped toward Jiduan City. Just as he came out from the warrior guild, he could directly go to the highway around the city. "When we get there, you just say that you are my boyfriend. Don't be exposed," Lu Shuangshuang reminded. "Alright, I don't talk much anyway. Just say it." Xiao Chen nodded and agreed. "That's good, but you have to cooperate." Lu Shuangshuang said, "You have to brag about how rich you are or something." "I don't have money." Xiao Chen said, "I'm just a poor bastard." "Pfft. You drive such a good car when you are poor?" Lu Shuangshuang obviously didn't believe it. "This car's license isn't mine. I'm just a driver," said Xiao Chen. "If you don't believe it, you can see for yourself." Xiao Chen was afraid that Lu Shuangshuang would pester him endlessly and always ask him for help, so he simply threw the car's license to Lu Shuangshuang. "Li Shaniying? Who is this person?" Lu Shuangshuang glanced at it. It really wasn't Xiao Chen's name. She was a little disappointed, but she said, "Can't you brag?" "You help me brag," said Xiao Chen. "Alright." Lu Shuangshuang suddenly felt that Xiao Chen was very boring. He didn't cooperate with her at all. She complained, "Can't you help me to the end?" "Lu Shuangshuang, your way of thinking is wrong. If you don't have money, then you don't have money. Why do you have to brag that you are rich? Do you think it is glorious to be a sugar daddy?" Xiao Chen didn't understand Lu Shuangshuang's way of thinking. "Yes." Lu Shuangshuang nodded and said. "Pfft." Xiao Chen was speechless. "Just pretend that I didn't say anything." I will cooperate with you. Chapter 426. Xiao Qin used to be a pretentious person. He always brought Qin Jinpeng and Zhu Yingxiong to school to show off. Therefore, it was not difficult for him to show off. He just did not want to be a busybody now. However, Lu Shuangshuang was right. Since he was here, he should help her to the end. Anyway, it was just this once. Xiao Qin would not come again in the future unless he had nothing better to do. Really? That's great. Lu Shuangshuang was elated. When the time comes, you have to act more intimate with me. Don't let the cat out of the bag. Don't worry. I'm taking advantage of you. Isn't that right? Xiao Qin was really annoyed by Lu Shuangshuang. He casually touched her thigh. Lu Shuangshuang's face turned red. Her breathing quickened, and her expression became unnatural. However, she did not avoid it. She only nodded. Yes, that's right, how about this? Xiao Qin sneered. He touched the middle of her thigh and pressed it a few times. Lu Shuangshuang shivered. She subconsciously clamped her thighs together. She exclaimed, "What are you doing? Didn't you ask me to be intimate?" Xiao Qin said. "You think I can't deal with you? If I don't teach you a lesson, you don't have many requests. Even if you hire an extra, it's not that troublesome, right?" "No. You don't have to be so intimate." Lu Shuangshuang stared at Xiao Qin and stammered. She was furious. Lin really misjudged him. This Xiao Qin was a pervert. He pretended to be serious on the surface, but in fact, he was actually so perverted. If it wasn't for... I don't have a choice. Why would I bring him here at the last minute? Xiao Qin pulled his hand back. He did not expect Lu Shuangshuang to subconsciously clamp her thighs together. He could not help but be amused. You say you don't want to use it, but you actually do. Otherwise, why would you clamp it so tightly? As he said that, Xiao Qin used his finger to press it a few more times. Ah! Lu Shuangshuang hurriedly spread her legs apart and moved Xiao Qin's hand away while panting. She said, "Are you doing this to Lin? You asked for it." Xiao Qin said indifferently, "What's more, Lin Kuer isn't my girlfriend, so why should I be sorry? You were the one who misunderstood. Did she not explain it to you? Are you really not her boyfriend?" Lu Shuangshuang took a deep breath and closed her legs again. Then, she shifted her body to the side, not giving Xiao Qin a chance to take advantage of her. "No." Xiao Qin said, "If you can accept it, then it's the level of intimacy just now. If you can't accept it, then you can do it yourself." I can." Lu Shuangshuang gritted her teeth. This time, it was Xiao Qin's turn to be surprised. Even if she went to show the suitor that she had a boyfriend, there was no need to do this, right? If it was normal, he wouldn't think it was fake, right? Even if he accompanied Shen Jingxian to go out and meet friends in the future, there was no need to always show affection to Shen Jingxian, right? Therefore, Xiao Qin didn't understand what Lu Shuangshuang was thinking and why she did this. Xiao Qin was really speechless. Since Lu Shuangshuang felt that there was no problem, then he couldn't say anything more. It was as if he had to take advantage of Lu Shuangshuang. In fact, that was not the case. Xiao Qin wanted to teach her a lesson. To be honest, Xiao Qin didn't like those gold diggers. With his previous identity as the young master of the Xiao family, even if he was a loser, countless beautiful women would flock to him with a wave of his hand. Those women were only interested in his money. As long as he gave them money, they would do it. However, Xiao Qin had no interest in this kind of woman at all. Never mind that he was infatuated with Shen Jingxian at that time, even if he wasn't infatuated with Shen Jingxian, he wouldn't have any interaction with those women. In contrast, Lin was more simple. She wouldn't do things that violated her dignity because of money. This Lu Shuangshuang was her friend, but her character was not the same as Lin's. If it weren't for Xiao Qin's promise to her, she would have turned around and left at this moment. Well, anyway, it's only once. I will do whatever you say. Xiao Chen said faintly. Okay. Just once is fine. Lu Shuangshuang nodded happily. The car rushed all the way and finally came to the immortal resort in Jiduan City. This Jiduan City was a tourist city. It was adjacent to the edge of several cities and was surrounded by them. Because of its special geographical location and beautiful scenery, there were many people who held class reunions and company meetings here. Xiao Chen parked the car in the parking lot of the immortal resort. Then, he got off with Lu Shuangshuang and walked to the place where her classmates signed in. Although there were more rich people here, Xiao Chen's top-of-the-line Land Rover was considered a real luxury car here. It was just that Lu Shuangshuang didn't have a chance to show off. The car was in the parking lot, and her classmates couldn't see it. Originally, Xiao Chen thought that Lu Shuangshuang would let him drive the car directly to the place to sign in to show off and then stop back. However, Lu Shuangshuang didn't mention it, which made Xiao Chen somewhat surprised. Could it be that this gold-digging girl forgot? However, it was better if she didn't mention it. Xiao Chen was too lazy to bother. He wouldn't look for trouble for himself. Lu Shuangshuang studied at Shijing Middle School in Songning City. The two walked to the front of a standalone resort building. They saw a line of flashing text on the electronic LED screen in front of the resort building. Shijing Middle School Grade 4 Class 9 Class Reunion. You have been in junior high school for 4 years? Are you repeating a year? Xiao Chen asked as he looked at the text on the screen. You are the one who is repeating a year. Lu Shuangshuang glanced at Xiao Chen. I am a 54-1 system. Ignorant and ill-informed. Xiao Chen was a little dumbfounded. This Lu Shuangshuang still dares to talk back to me? Isn't it time to beg me to come? Seeing Xiao Chen's eyes, Lu Shuangshuang immediately felt that something was wrong. It seemed that her words were a little harsh. She quickly stuck out her tongue and said carefully, I'm sorry. I'm used to talking to my friends. I won't talk to you next time, forget it. I'm not a glass-hearted person. Xiao Chen shook his head. You are Ke Lin's friend. I also consider you as a friend. But you should understand that we can only be regarded as ordinary friends. It's okay to joke around, but this is the last time you come to help. I understand. Don't worry. As long as it's done today, I won't trouble you anymore. Lu Shuangshuang said quickly. Xiao Chen nodded and walked into the lobby on the first floor of the resort with Lu Shuangshuang. In the lobby, there was a check-in table. There were 2 people sitting behind it, and there were many people standing next to them. Obviously, they were Lu Shuangshuang's classmates or boyfriend or girlfriend of her classmates. Lu Shuangshuang. A girl waved at Lu Shuangshuang. Li Xiener. Lu Shuangshuang saw the girl and nodded to her. She smiled and walked over. Long time no see. I haven't seen you for years. Did you miss me? Shuangshuang, I heard that you found a rich boyfriend. Is that him? As soon as Li Xiener opened her mouth, she led the topic to Xiao Chen. Lu Shuangshuang was slightly stunned. Yes, this is my boyfriend, Xiao Chen. His family is very powerful. They do business overseas. Lu Shuangshuang said casually. She had no idea what Xiao Chen's family did. Oh. Really? Li Xiener smiled in disbelief. Then, she waved at a guy not far away. Dajuan, let me introduce you to a good friend. The boy was about 1.75 meters tall. He wasn't tall, but he was wearing famous brands. His trench coat was from Burberry, his leather shoes and belt were from LV, and he was wearing a jade ring on his finger. It was obvious that it was expensive. Xiener, who are you going to introduce to me? The guy named Dajuan walked over in a flashy manner. He put his arm around Li Xiener's shoulder and asked. This is my good friend from junior high, Lu Shuangshuang. Now, she isn't in university. She's mingling in the underworld. Li Xiener said to Dajuan, this is her boyfriend. His family does export trade. Oh. Dajuan looked at Xiao Chen and then looked at Lu Shuangshuang. His eyes suddenly lit up. He coughed twice and said to Xiao Chen, "How do I address you, little brother? Is your family doing export trade?" "Coincidentally, my family is also doing trade." Xiao Chen. "It's just a small business." "It's not presentable," Xiao Chen said faintly. Xiao Chen didn't lie to him. He was the only one in his family now. He sold breakfast at the morning market street. Of course, it was a small business. "This is my name card. I'm from the Xia family in the provincial capital. If you want to expand your business, you can find me." Dajuan glanced at Lu Shuangshuang lecherously, then he handed a name card to Xiao Chen. Li Xianer naturally saw Dajuan's intentions. She followed Dajuan and knew him very well. This Dajuan liked to have threesomes with familiar people, such as Li Xianer's classmates, friends, and even cousins. A few of them had been dragged down by her. This was also the reason why Dajuan didn't abandon Li Xianer. Li Xianer knew him well, and she often helped him drag people to have threesomes. This Lu Shuangshuang was naturally specially introduced to Dajuan by Li Xianer. Li Xianer was actually used to having a boyfriend. He was from the Xia family in the provincial capital. Although he was a collateral relative, he was still a super-rich young master. Li Xianer was already very lucky to be able to get close to him. "I can't find it." Xiao Chen threw the name card into his pocket. "My business is too small. It can't be found." "Huh, brother, don't say that. Haven't you heard of a saying? The more daring a person is, the more productive he is." Dajuan patted Xiao Chen's shoulder earnestly. "Oh." Xiao Chen nodded casually and didn't bother with him anymore. Lu Shuangshuang also noticed that this Li Xianer had completely changed. She was completely different from when she was in school. She suddenly lost interest and said to Li Xianer, "Xiao Chen's family is very rich. He doesn't need to get close to the Xia family." "What is the Xia family?" "It's nothing compared to Xiao Chen's family." Lu Shuangshuang's voice was very loud. The students next to her all heard it. Dajuan and Li Xianer were stunned at first, then they laughed out loud. Chapter 427. "May I ask what family you are from? Your business is actually bigger than the Xia family in the provincial capital? Kid, do you dare to say the name of your family? Do you believe that I can make your family lose its foothold in the province with just one phone call?" Dajuan looked at Xiao Chen coldly. Lu Shuangshuang was slightly stunned. Looking at the strange expressions of the students around her, she realized that she seemed to have gotten into trouble. She was shocked. The Xia family in the provincial capital? Could it be the Xia family that supplied goods to the warriors' market? That was a truly monstrous existence. Previously, Lu Shuangshuang did not think about it at all. After all, the warriors' market and ordinary business families were on two different levels. There was no overlap. How could the boyfriend of one of her classmates be from a martial arts family? But now, listening to his tone, it seemed to be the case. Xiao Chen didn't blame Lu Shuangshuang. When he saw her nervous face, he knew that she was already regretting it. Those who didn't know better couldn't be blamed. What annoyed Xiao Chen was that he had never seen this army before, yet they claimed to be from the provincial capital Xia clan. Even Xia Huang of the Xia family did not dare to make a fuss in front of him. Even the head of the family, Xia Chaonan, did not dare to disrespect him. "There is no need to tell you. My name is Xiao Chen. If you have the ability, you can ask the Xia family to kill me." Xiao Chen said lightly, "Why don't we each make a phone call? I can ask the Xia family to kick you out of the family, provided that you are from the Xia family." Ha 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 ha. Dajuan could not help but laugh wildly. Kick me out of the family? His cousin was Xia Chen. Xia Chen was a core disciple of the Xia family. In the company, he was very valued by Xia Chen. He even handed over some of the more lucrative jobs to him. So, of course, he did not believe that a word from Xiao Chen could kick him out of the Xiao family. That was not realistic. If you don't believe me, then make a phone call. Xiao Chen shrugged indifferently. More and more people came to watch the show. Suddenly, there was a commotion in the crowd. A man with a large build and a round waist walked over with a follower. When he looked closely, he was suddenly happy. Lu Shuangshuang, you are here? What happened here? Did you have a conflict with someone? I will stand up for you. Tell me, who provoked Shuangshuang? Chu Xiong, Shuangshuang already has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend is very powerful. With a wave of his hand, he can drive my husband out of the family. He's really a ruthless person in our class. You're just a commoner, don't get involved. Li Xiener said coldly. You. Fat Bear naturally knew that Li Xiener's boyfriend, Xia Kanjun, was from the Xia family in the provincial capital. He also knew that although he was doing well in the marketplace, it was impossible for him to compete with the Xia family. Only his master could challenge them. However, just because he didn't dare to go against the Xia family didn't mean that he didn't dare to go against Xiao Chen. Although Li Xiener described how powerful Lu Shuangshuang's boyfriend was, he wasn't an idiot. He could hear the mockery and fear in her voice. Humph, Lu Shuangshuang, is this your boyfriend? Fat Bear had suffered a setback at Li Xiener's hands, so he was filled with anger. He turned to look at Xiao Chen and shouted angrily, "Look at you. You're just a piece of trash. Make a phone call and I'll see if you can drive Xia Kenjun out of the Xia family. If you can, then you're amazing. If you can't, then leave Lu Shuangshuang as soon as possible. We don't want the goddess of our class to be with a big liar who only knows how to brag." After Xia Kenjun heard this, his face changed slightly. He did not expect that although Fat Bear looked a little stupid, his IQ was not stupid at all. He wanted to lead the conflict between Fat Bear and Xiao Chen so that he could sit back and watch. Speaking of which, regardless of whether it was Xiao Chen saying that he would chase him out of the Xia family with a phone call or that he would make Xiao Chen's family lose their footing with a phone call, he felt that these were just ruthless words meant to infuriate him. It was impossible for them to be realized. Not to mention him, even Xia Chen could not propose to deal with a family. Why would the Xia family listen to them? What the Xia family needed was to make money, not to fight with other families. If they always fought with other families, then the Xia family would not have developed to where it was now. Therefore, when he saw Fat Bear, he directly led the trouble to him. He did not expect Fat Bear to come back. Hee, you want to see? Xiao Chen remembered the purpose of this trip. Lu Shuangshuang wanted to show him to Fat Bear and make him give up. Therefore, how could Xiao Chen refuse such a way to kill two birds with one stone? He immediately took out his phone and walked to a corner where there was no one. Why are you sneaking on the phone? Why don't you call in front of us? As soon as he saw Xiao Chen's action, Fat Bear immediately understood. This Xiao Chen most likely did not have any power. He pretended to run to the side to make a phone call. When the time came, he could call a random number and find an excuse to avoid it. At this moment, Xia Kunjuan's eyes were also filled with mockery. It seemed that Xiao Chen really didn't have any capabilities. He was just putting on an act and wasn't a threat at all. Xia Kunjuan's previous worries were groundless. Xia Huang, is there a person named Xia Kenjun in your family? Xiao Chen dialed Xia Huang's phone number and asked directly. There is one, White Fox Hero. What's wrong? Why are you suddenly asking this question? Xia Huang asked with some confusion. It's good that there is. This person offended my underling. Tell him to get lost. If he doesn't, I will personally make him disappear from the earth. Xiao Chen said directly, not hiding the threat in his words. Yes, yes. I will do it immediately. Xia Chen was shocked and quickly nodded. How can I let White Fox Hero do it yourself? Don't worry. I can do it myself. Give me a minute. Okay. Xiao Chen hung up the phone directly. Xia Huang didn't have Xia Kunjuan's phone number. This person was just a distant relative of the Xia family. He had no direct contact with Xia Huang. The reason why he knew was that Xia Chen recommended this person to him, saying that he was an employee of the company. Xia Chen. You immediately tell the person named Xia Kenjun to get lost. In the future, our Xia family doesn't need him. Xia Huang directly called Xia Chen and ordered. Brother, what do you mean? Why? This person is not bad. He is very dedicated. Xia Chen was taken aback. He didn't know what was going on. Xia Kenjun was his confidant and often bought goods with high rebates. Most of the rebates were given to him. Xia Chen had made a fortune in the past few years. How could he chase away such a useful person? He offended White Fox Hero's underling, so White Fox Hero wants him to leave. Do you understand? Xia Huang said coldly. Xia Chen was stunned. He was a little puzzled. He just offended White Fox Hero's underling, and he wants to kick my relative out of the family. Is this fair? Why do I feel that our Xia family is too weak? It shouldn't be like this. Alright, listen to me. Don't ask so much. Xia Huang directly made the final decision. He didn't give Xia Chen a chance to refute and hung up the phone. Wait, brother. Seeing that the phone had been hung up, Xia Chen clenched the phone in his hand and smashed it on the ground. The large-screen iPhone was instantly smashed, but he didn't feel bad. He stepped on it twice to vent his anger. Damn, White Fox Hero, just you wait. I will deal with you sooner or later. However, even though he was scolding him, he still changed his phone number and called Xia Kenjun. President Xia. Seeing that it was Xia Chen calling him, Xia Kenjun was stunned, and then he immediately picked up the phone respectfully. He originally wanted to call Xia Chen to see if he could use business means to deal with Xiao Chen's family, but he was too embarrassed to take the initiative. He didn't expect Xia Chen to take the initiative to call him. He was ready to wait for the opportunity to talk to him. However, Xia Chen was very angry and roared, Xia Kenjun, did you provoke someone? Now, you are fired. You should leave the company first. Xia Kenjun was stunned all of a sudden. He didn't know what to do. He held the phone, and his mind was blank. What's going on? Why would Xia Chen say this? Could it be that Xiao Chen is so capable? Can it really be settled with a phone call? He said with some uncertainty, President Xia, don't joke. I'm attending a class reunion, are you kidding? You must leave. This is an order from my brother, Emperor Xia. You know, in the Xia family, no one can refute his words. You should leave first. When there is a chance, I will see if I can make you come back to do something. Xia Chen was a little annoyed and said, I must leave now. Don't say any more. You are a prodigal. Why did you provoke someone for no reason? I didn't provoke anyone. Over here, that kid called Xiao Chen looks like a pauper. I didn't think he would be so powerful to be able to establish a relationship with young Master Xia. Xia Kunjuan's heart sank. He knew he was done for. Xiao Chen. The person you provoked is called Xiao Chen. Xia Chen was slightly taken aback. He knew this name because. However, after he confirmed this name, he immediately laughed coldly and said, all right, I got it. This Xiao Chen's family is almost finished. When the time comes, I'll think of a way to get you back. But for now, you'd better calm down for me. This person is not important. It's his boss who called my brother. Yes, yes. Xia Kenjun was overjoyed and quickly said yes. He hung up the phone, and Xiao Chen also came back. However, Xia Kenjuan's submissive appearance on the phone was seen by everyone and Fat Bear. Everyone could guess some of it. They suddenly knew that Xiao Chen's phone call was really effective. How is it, Xia Kenjun? Did your master call you to get lost? Xiao Chen looked at Xia Kenjun and asked with a faint smile. You. Xia Kunjuan's face was a little pale. He really didn't expect to cause such trouble today. Chapter 428. Lu Shuangshuang was a little shocked. She did not expect Xiao Chen to be able to settle the Xia family with just a phone call. This really surprised her. After all, she knew what kind of family the Xia family was. She stayed in the warrior guild and the warrior market all day long. However, what kind of power did Xiao Chen have to make the Xia family make such a decision? She looked at Xiao Chen and suddenly felt that Xiao Chen seemed to be quite powerful. Xiao Chen, don't be too proud. Our President Xia said that your family is about to be finished. He will deal with you when the time comes. Although I was kicked out of the family, it is only temporary. Xia Kunjuan's face was a little ugly. He could not help but say what Xia Chen said previously. You just called the Xia family through your boss. Do you really think that you are capable? Others did not understand what this meant, but Lu Shuangshuang understood. Wasn't Xiao Chen's boss the White Fox hero? That day, on Temple Street, wasn't it Xiao Chen who called the White Fox hero? So that was it. Lu Shuangshuang suddenly understood. However, others did not understand, especially Fat Bear. He was a little afraid of Xiao Chen at first, but when he heard that Xiao Chen asked his boss for help, he immediately did not care. His boss was also a powerful person. Everyone was at the level of a little brother. Why should he be afraid of him? The Xia family was a business family. Your boss called to give you face, but I'm from the underworld. It's not that easy to get me to leave. Moreover, he thought that he had a good relationship with his boss. Xia Kunjuan's beating around the bush couldn't be compared to him. It could be said that he was equivalent to the role of Xia Chen. In other words, he could directly talk to the young master of the Xia family. So, Fat Bear rolled his eyes and said, Haha, Xia Kunjun, what's wrong? It is true that you have a backer, but your backer is not very useful. It is not as reliable as mine. Humph. Xia Kunjun snorted coldly. How could he not hear Fat Bear's contempt? However, now that he had temporarily lost the support of the Xia family, he could not say anything more. He pulled Li Xianer and turned to leave. Wait. Xia Kunjun was about to leave, but he was stopped by Xiao Chen. What else do you want? Xia Kunjun asked angrily. You kicked me out of the Xia family, but that doesn't mean I'm afraid of you. Who is Manager Xia? Xia Chen? Did he tell you that our Xiao family is doomed? Xiao Chen frowned and asked Xia Kunjun. How would I know? He didn't say that I would curse you. Xia Kunjun was not stupid. He immediately realized that he had said something wrong and quickly denied it. Really? Xiao Chen didn't ask anymore. He was now basically sure that this President Xia was Xia Chen, and Xia Chen actually said that the Xiao family was going to be finished. What did this mean? Did he know something, or did he see something? Or could there be other reasons? But this Xia Kunjun definitely didn't know anything. It was useless for Xiao Chen to ask him, so he could only pay attention to it himself. Since he left the Xiao family, he hadn't paid attention to the news of the Xiao family for a long time. Xiao Chen had been paying attention to the Xiao family, the Tang family, the Yu family, and so on, but he ignored his own family. In the past, Xiao Chen had inexplicable hatred for the Xiao family. He didn't understand why the Xiao family wanted to kick him out. But now, since the last meal with his uncle Xiao Hai, Xiao Chen also understood their difficulties. Especially after coming into contact with the other great clans a few times, Xiao Chen deeply understood their difficulties. Could it be that something happened to the Xiao family recently? However, in the Xiao family, only Xiao Chen was in the same generation as Xiao Xiao. Now that Xiao Xiao and Qing Mingxiang were together, Xiao Chen had nothing to say to her. It didn't seem very good to ask his uncle Xiao Hai directly. After all, he had never paid attention to the Xiao family before. If he suddenly asked, Xiao Hai would inevitably feel strange. Moreover, it was not good for Xiao Chen to contact Xiao Hai directly. Although he wasn't afraid of the Qing family, he still had to keep a low profile in order not to alert the enemy. Watching Xia Kenjun leave with his tail between his legs, Fat Bear sneered. You want to compete with me? You were sent away before my brother could do anything. That saved me a lot of trouble. Turning to look at Lu Shuangshuang, Fat Bear said, Lu Shuangshuang, what do you think? 50,000 a month, that's not a low price. It's enough for me to hire a young model. I'm giving you this price because you're my first love. Otherwise, do you think you're worth this price? Xiao Chen was a little amused by Fat Bear's actions. Even if he was Lu Shuangshuang's temporary bodyguard, a fake boyfriend, Fat Bear didn't know. This brat was trying to poach Lu Shuangshuang right in front of him. He was simply looking down on him. Shuangshuang, is this person sick? Xiao Chen pointed to Fat Bear and asked Lu Shuangshuang with a puzzled face. Well, maybe a little. Lu Shuangshuang knew how powerful Xiao Chen was, so she was not afraid of getting into trouble. She nodded and said, well, boy, are you pretending? Don't think that you can deal with me just because you can deal with Xia Kenjun. Don't think that you can deal with me just because you can deal with Xia Kenjun. Let me tell you, I'm different from him. I'm a street person. Do you have the ability to drive me out of the family? Sorry, I'm alone. I don't have a family. Fat Bear said disdainfully, you are from Songning, right? Although you know some people, let me tell you, it's useless. If you get angry, I will destroy you. You can ask around in the underworld of Songning City. What is my name? If I kill you, I will have a younger brother to take the blame for me. Oh, I don't need to find someone to take the blame even if I kill you. Xiao Chen said faintly after listening. Hey, boy, you have guts. I don't know if you still have guts after returning to Songning City. You don't know who controls the underworld of Songning City, right? Fat Bear sneered. You mean your family? Asked Xiao Chen. Of course, it's my boss. Tonight, my boss will come to support us. I'm not afraid to tell you that my sister has recently followed my boss. Now, I'm a popular person around him. My words are quite powerful. If you don't want to die, then don't get involved. She's just a woman. There's no need to lose your life. Look at you, you don't dress very well. I guess you just know a few more people. You are just a child of a small family. You have to know your own weight. Fat Bear said to Xiao Chen earnestly. Then, if you have the ability, kill me. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. In many cases, the reunion would change after a certain period of time. It would become a place to show off one's sense of existence. Some people who were good at school might not be doing well now, and some people who were bad at school might be rich now. As for the goddesses who used to look down on them, as long as the right bargaining chips were given, they would throw themselves into the arms of the goddesses who once looked down on them. Xiao Chen didn't have such a strong feeling about the reunion before, but now, he finally understood why there were always some good students who liked to initiate a reunion. It was because it was cool to pretend to be real in front of former classmates. Especially in front of the girls he liked in the past, it was even more so to show off his existence. Don't think that I'm talking nonsense. When my boss comes in a while, you will know that there are some levels that a child of a small family like you can't reach. Fat Bear snorted. Oh. Xiao Chen made an oh sound. It was unknown whether he heard it or not. Seeing Xiao Chen's stubbornness, Fat Bear was a little annoyed. If it wasn't for the class reunion, he really wanted to teach this Xiao Chen a lesson and beat him until all his teeth fell to the ground. He wanted to let him know that there were some people that he absolutely could not provoke. But in front of so many classmates, and this reunion was initiated by him. If he hit someone, how would his classmates think of him? So even if he was very angry, he still held it in and didn't make a move. Fat Bear glanced at the door of the resort and didn't see any high-end cars. The cars were even the same as before. So, he rolled his eyes and said, Lu Shuangshuang, you came by taxi, right? If you want me to say it, you can call me, and I will drive to pick you up. Do you see my car? The Land Rover Aurora at the door is this year's latest model. Just call me, and I will pick you up. This off-road vehicle, I will drive to your shanty town as well. We drove here, said Lu Shuangshuang. Drove? What car? Fat Bear was slightly stunned. He glanced at the door and didn't see any cars. He knew who the few cars outside belonged to. There was no one he didn't know. Land Rover, said Lu Shuangshuang. Ah. It's also a Land Rover? But I'm the only one at the door. Fat Bear pretended to be confused, but his words were full of ridicule. Oh, it's a Land Rover Range Rover. I didn't drive it here. I left it in the parking lot, said Lu Shuangshuang. Range Rover? Fat Bear suddenly laughed. Why didn't you drive it here? There is also a parking lot here. Why don't you drive your car here? It will be convenient to keep an eye on the car. Land Rover is such a high-end car. Don't let it get scratched. Oh, it's just a car. If it gets scratched, then so be it. I will buy another one after that. Xiao Chen said indifferently. Ha. Fat Bear was immediately amused. These two people were bragging to each other, and it was really like that. It made him laugh. I don't even dare to say that I will buy another one after it gets scratched. Can you buy another one? Well, I haven't driven such a high-end car like Range Rover before. How about you drive it here and let me experience it? Let's talk about it when we leave. Xiao Chen was too lazy to be his driver. Drive it here and let him experience it? Wasn't there something wrong with his brain? At this time, at the door of the resort, there was a car sound. An Audi Q7 stopped outside. When Fat Bear saw it, he couldn't care less about Xiao Chen and Lu Shuangshuang. He immediately ran over and opened the door for the driver. He said flatteringly, Brother Ming, you are here. Chapter 429. N. The person who got out of the car nodded gently. He looked at Fat Bear proudly and said, if it weren't for you and Shaoli, I wouldn't have come here to attend this class reunion. Can I live in such a low-class place? Yes, yes. Fat Bear quickly agreed. Right, Brother Ming, there is a person in the house who is acting cool to me. He should be from a small family in Songning City. Can you go and teach him a lesson? Oh, a small family? Do I still need to show up? Brother Ming said faintly. He hugged a fair-looking girl who got out of the front passenger seat and walked into the door of the class reunion. Isn't this Xiao Lu? Xiao Chen looked up and saw Lu Zhenming walking through the door. Then he said directly, right, that Fat Bear next to you wants to see my car. I parked it in the parking lot. Go and drive it for me. Let him feel it. As Xiao Chen said this, he handed the car key to Lu Zhenming. Lu Zhenming looked at Xiao Chen in front of him with a little surprise. He didn't know why Xiao Chen would appear here. He even knew Fat Bear. What kind of connection did they have? However, he still shuddered subconsciously and hurriedly said, Boss Xiao Chen, why are you here too? Why drive? Why are you showing this dumb *SS? Ignore him. Oh, then forget it. Xiao Chen glanced at the girl in Lu Zhenming's arms and said, is she new? She has been chasing me. I didn't agree before, but now, I agree. Lu Zhenming had given up on Xing Menjing, so he didn't have to hang on to a tree. Oh, this fat guy is her brother? He doesn't look like a dumb person. I wanted to beat him up, but since he is your relative, I didn't, said Xiao Chen. Fat Bear's eyes were a little dull as he looked at Xiao Chen and Lu Zhenming, who were talking and laughing wittily. What was going on? Lu Zhenming actually called Xiao Chen Boss Xiao Chen. He's Lu Zhenming's boss? His own boss? In that case, wouldn't Xiao Chen's boss be? He felt a little dizzy. This Xiao Chen didn't seem to be a simple descendant of a small family. Could it be that he had been wrong all along? Fat Bear, what are you doing? This is Boss Xiao Chen, my boss. His boss is the white fox hero who is famous in Songning, and also my boss's boss. Do you want to die? If you don't want to live anymore, just say it. Why are you looking at a car? What's there to look at? If you want to see it, go to the parking lot. Lu Zhenming said angrily. I. Fat Bear's forehead was full of cold sweat. He didn't expect that this Xiao Chen actually had such a powerful background. He really didn't know what to say. Of course, the most dumbfounded person was Lu Shuangshuang. Was the white fox hero so powerful? Just one of his underlings was already enough to scare people to death? Looking at Lu Zhenming's appearance, Lu Shuangshuang knew that this fat bear would definitely not pester her in the future. However, from the looks of it now, what Lin Kuer said might be true. She and Xiao Chen were not in a relationship of boyfriend and girlfriend. He remembered that Lin Kuer had once said that the person she liked was the white fox hero. In this way, Lu Shuangshuang's guilt was reduced a lot. Otherwise, she would always have a kind of pressure, as if she was the one who stole Kuer Lin's boyfriend. Although she didn't show it, she still felt a little awkward. But now, this feeling no longer existed. Xiao Chen and Kuer Lin didn't admit that there was a relationship between them. Now it seemed that there was only one possibility: there was really no relationship. Thinking of this, Lu Shuangshuang heaved a sigh of relief. In other words, no matter how intimate she was with Xiao Chen, no matter what illogical things they did, it would all be fine. She would not feel sorry for Lin Kuer. This made the stone in her heart fall down. Otherwise, she really couldn't face Kuer Lin in the future. What she wanted to do today was something that couldn't be helped. Okay, little Lu, just say it. He likes my girlfriend, Lu Shuangshuang, but Lu Shuangshuang doesn't like him. You tell him not to pester her. Xiao Chen said. This was also a way to solve the problem once and for all, so that Lu Shuangshuang wouldn't endlessly pester him for help in the future. No, I won't pester him anymore. Without waiting for Lu Zhenming to speak, Fat Bear immediately said. He wasn't a fool. Obviously, his biggest backer was Lu Shuangshuang's underling. What else could he do? Lu Shuangshuang's classmates were watching the development of the situation not far away. Before Xia Kanjun left, they faintly felt that Lu Shuangshuang's boyfriend wasn't simple. Now, it was even more so. They felt that Xiao Chen was even more powerful. Was Fat Bear powerful? But Xiao Chen could even control Lu Shuangshuang's boss. This kind of ability couldn't help but be admired. The expressions of those classmates who looked down on Lu Shuangshuang before changed. They thought that after Lu Shuangshuang dropped out of school, she was just a prostitute. How difficult would it be for a girl without any ability, background, or education to earn money to support her family and society? When Lu Shuangshuang was in school, her grades were average. Usually, she relied on street stalls to support her family. What achievements could such a person achieve in society? But unexpectedly, they really misjudged her. Lu Shuangshuang was really rich now. Regardless of whether her family was poor in the past, she definitely wouldn't be poor in the future. Shuangshuang, what's the name of your boyfriend's company? After I graduate from university, can I go there to work? There was a girl who had a good relationship with Lu Shuangshuang. At this moment, she started to think of ways to get closer to her. Yeah, Shuangshuang, I'm your back seat. Do you remember? Little Chong. A male voice called Little Chong also came over. Let's keep in touch in the future. When we were in school, you went out early and came back late to set up your stall. I even helped you copy your homework. Shuangshuang, I think our class needs a leader. You're doing the best now. In the future, you'll be the leader. When we have something to do, we'll help each other. Sister Shuangshuang is the big sister. Fat Bear immediately said. Pfft. What are you doing? You only know how to do well. Lu Zhenming kicked him. After that, the class reunion completely turned into a session of flattery. A group of people desperately toasted Xiao Chen and Lu Shuangshuang. Of course, Xiao Chen and Lu Shuangshuang replaced it with drinks. They didn't drink any alcohol. But even so, no one said much. Lu Shuangshuang enjoyed the feeling of being the main character for the first time. The way she looked at Xiao Chen couldn't help but become very gentle. She kept pouring drinks for Xiao Chen. She became Xiao Chen's exclusive drink server. Xiao Chen was also a little helpless. Even if he didn't drink, drinking so many drinks would make his stomach a little uncomfortable. But there was no other way. Lu Shuangshuang's classmates were very enthusiastic. He had to deal with them for Lu Shuangshuang's sake. In his opinion, a good person would help to the end. In the future, Lu Shuangshuang wouldn't bother him anymore. This was also a good way to solve the problem once and for all. Honey, drink by yourself for a while. I'm going to the bathroom. Lu Shuangshuang touched her clothes pocket, then stood up and said to Xiao Chen. Oh. Do you want me to go with you? Asked Xiao Chen. No need. I'll be back soon. Thank you, my dear. Lu Shuangshuang suddenly stood up and wrapped her arms around Xiao Chen's neck. Then, she kissed Xiao Chen's face. Xiao Chen was stunned. He didn't expect Lu Shuangshuang to kiss him in front of so many people. Is she drunk? That's not right. Isn't she drinking juice? Juice can also be drunk. When we were in the car, Lu Shuangshuang was very wary of me taking advantage of her. Why did she suddenly take the initiative? Did she really fall in love with me? Xiao Chen shook his head. Looking at Lu Shuangshuang, who had already left, he felt a little dizzy. He didn't believe that his charm was so great that she would fall in love with him after helping her to act cool. However, Xiao Chen suddenly felt a little drunk. His head was a little dizzy. Did I drink too much juice? I heard that there was a small amount of alcohol in the juice. If you drink too much, you will also get drunk. Thinking about how much juice I drank, it seems that it is really possible. Boss Xiao Chen, let's continue. Let me toast to you. Lu Zhenming raised his glass and said to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen felt that these people were all alcohol battlefields, especially this Lu Zhenming. Sure enough, people in the underworld can drink. Lu Shuangshuang came to the bathroom carefully. As soon as she walked in, she was shocked by an old man who suddenly appeared in front of her. She quickly took 2 steps back. Ah, you scared me to death, Lu Shuangshuang. Is he the boyfriend you were talking about? The old man's voice was very strange. There was an indescribable wretchedness and obscenity in it. It made people who heard it very uncomfortable. Why have I never seen him before? It's true. He is really my boyfriend, and we have already slept together. Don't pester me anymore, okay? Lu Shuangshuang said with some begging. Didn't we agree before that if I had a boyfriend, you wouldn't come to me? I can give you money. We agreed, but I always feel that you want to leave me and lie to me. He. The old man sneered twice. Did you really sleep with him? Yes, I really slept with him. You must have despised me, so the matter between us, let's end it today, okay? Said Lu Shuangshuang. Humph. The old man didn't agree or refuse. He just scanned Lu Shuangshuang up and down greedily. Then he said, you go back first. I will take a look. Oh. Lu Shuangshuang said, you move aside first. I need to go to the bathroom. Humph. The old man snorted and let Lu Shuangshuang enter the bathroom. After Lu Shuangshuang went in, she let out a sigh of relief. This old man lied to me when I was young. I didn't expect him to pester me until now. I shouldn't have agreed to him. Now that I think about it, it's really troublesome. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.